We are back for episode 37 of the Quarantine Cast here on Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon, and to start off the stream today, we've got just Jeff and Brian Saviano joining as always. So it's going to be another fun show, building and chatting. Let's jump on into it. Jeff has a new title today, so I think that's worth pointing out at the very beginning. Why don't you explain how you got that title?
There's things that I don't talk about that I do for God and country, Joshua.
Okay, wow, that's a lot more intense than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you're moving on up.
So I wanted to make an apology to Brian today. Brian, I heard about the horrible news, and I'm just sorry, man. Like, I know Brenda meant a lot to you, and that she was somebody that was pertinent in your life, and I'm very sorry that she decided to go snorkeling in the Massachusetts Bay, and she just didn't come back up because she didn't know how a snorkel worked. So she went under the water, and then she just started breathing in water instead of air because snorkels don't work like that. So, Brian, I'm very sorry for your loss, and I had high hopes for you two kids, but just so everybody knows, Brenda is dead.
Brenda's not dead. We're divorced, Jeff.
Oh, okay. Well, so maybe it was sabotage then.
Quite the saga there, Jeff.
We should have planned this bit beforehand, Jeff.
Is the Massachusetts Bay a popular snorkeling spot?
You know that thing about concrete blocks and you tie them to your feet?
Yes.
Yes.
Charles River is a good place to do that.
Yeah.
You speak from experience.
That's why Kirk Wilson's not here.
Well, you don't tie them. You actually put the feet in the cement and wait for it to set, and then...
Kirk Wilson also had an unfortunate snorkeling incident recently.
Jeff, you need to higher your volume so much higher somehow. I think you can do that in StreamYard.
My mic volume?
It's got to be like higher.
Oh.
And the reason it has to be higher is because I need all the energy and everything you possibly have in you, because we have a $19.99 super chat from Ash Daddy. LME Toys, building your mind one brick at a time. Hello, Daddy. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're well. Salute to the green tea.
There you go. Isabel is being very generous to your monologue there, Jeff.
I'm sorry. Not really. But, you know. So Joshua, you're building the springtime festival New Year thing.
My goal is to finish today because viewers, I don't think viewers like it when it takes me like 4 weeks to finish one set. That's probably not very good. So
they like Bionicle. Whatever.
Oh no, okay, let's not. It's too early in the stream to get started on that. Oh, speaking of which, the vote has ended now, right? For that. So, but they haven't announced the final three.
No, they haven't yet.
Okay. Still waiting to hear.
You know, some guy at Lego went, "You got to be kidding me!" as he looked at the results and was like,
No, he knew.
Are you serious? What do we do?
Brian Kevin called it all along.
Oh yeah.
Came out in full force, man.
They did. They were like lifting up the rocks they live under, and we're like, "Where's this computer we have to use? What's a computer? What's the internet?"
Oh boy.
Or some were coming out of like mom's basement and like, "Mom, I'm ready to go." And like,
this is my finest hour. Don't get in my way.
You know, it's like when World War II happened and everybody stepped up for the draft. Like, this is what's going on with Bionicle people. They're like, "To arms!" And then
our apologies to all of the World War II veterans in the audience that are upset at that comparison.
So, you know, and then they stormed Normandy, and I guess they won. So there you go.
Same thing, basically.
Yeah, almost exactly the same.
My hair is very lopsided today.
Look at that. It's like pulling your head to one side.
It's like It's very weird.
Awesome.
Joseph Sawada says he likes your shirt, Jeff.
It's a pretty awesome shirt. They had it in fat guy size, so I was equally pleasant and happy with it.
That's looks like it's a reference to a movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's just Ghostbusters. Never heard of it. It's fine.
Alyssa wants a shout out from the Joshua build cam. So consider this your shout out. My goal is to finish this set today. So that's what I'm trying to do. We'll see if I can get through it here. I'm very slow. Fazoom wonders, as Brian drinks his dinkies, does his hair get straighter?
There is nothing that can contain the curls of this hair, nor a hair straightening product or dinkies. No amount of dinkies can straighten this hair.
Have you tried? Did you used to try to kind of to do something with it, and then you've just given up at this point in your life?
I've never had my hair be out this long, so I'm like, all right, uncharted territory, seeing where it goes. And now I'm kind of just in a zone where I'm just, just letting it go, man. All of it. Whatever it's going to do, it's going to do.
Beyond the Brick is going to install one of those employee policies where you can't have your hair past a certain length and no facial hair and all that stuff.
Well, it looks like Kirk Wilson's taking over my spot on the quarantine. Salute. We're done.
And Mike can take over my spot because, Mike's already losing his hair. And
Oh, man. I hope Mike's in the audience right now.
I don't. So it's February for Lego Space Nerds. So I figure this month I will be building a rover on camera for everyone's joyful delight, and that way there's not a complaint about Lego. Plus we get some mock footage.
Oh, very nice.
What?
Very nice. We need something besides me very slowly building this set.
Yeah.
Brian, do you have the energy to build today?
I am not in a position to build anything new because I am in the process of trying to organize my collection, and I've unfortunately reached the point of my adulthood where I'm surrounded by all this Lego, and I look around and I say, well, this doesn't fill the void in my heart, so I need to start to, maybe part with some things that are not as high on the priority list for me. So a lot of things. And if anyone out there is looking to get a bunch of Lego, hey, here's a shameful self-promo for me. In the coming weeks, I will be not getting rid of everything, obviously, but a lot of the stuff that falls under the threshold of I absolutely need or love this, then yeah, it'll be prioritizing the things that I really, really, really want rather than just the things that I kind of want,
So
what kind of stuff? What kind of stuff are you looking to get rid of? Anything like specialty items or just kind of general sets in general for the most part?
General stuff. I have a lot of bricks. I have a lot of minifigures, lots of sets, tons and tons of sets, a lot of stuff. In terms of specialty stuff, not particularly that I know about right this second. So basically, I have hundreds and hundreds of sets from my time working at Lego retail and all that. So none of the stuff that Lego has given me will be on sale because I can't. But all the stuff that I bought with my own money, depending on what I decide to get rid of. But yeah, lots of things like that. So ranging from the past 10 years.
With that being the case, I guess I'll submit Kirk's address for this Peaches Castle email I got today, since you probably don't have space.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
My priorities have shifted, and I no longer care about
no longer. You just moved on.
Yeah, right. Are you thinking of selling, Brian? I mean, it really, it's just whatever. It's just a bunch of stuff. I have 4 40-gallon bins of things. So it's a lot of stuff. So I got to go through all that. But I'll let y'all know in the coming weeks as I get things together. So. Bionicle Gang, Bonko Gang. Why? F for Brian's hopes and dreams. No, listen, Metal. My hopes and dreams are still very much alive, okay? It's just when you reach a certain age in your life and you're surrounded by all this plastic and you're like, you know what? I need to prioritize. Do I want to live? Do I want to buy a house? Do I want to be surrounded by plastic for the rest of my life? And the answer is probably no. You sound very mature today, Brian. Listen, gotta liquidate the assets. I gotta prepare myself for a stable financial future. All right, Milan.
This is Brian slowly
All right,
transitioning the
Franco.
show from
Franco.
Lego into a financial podcast live stream every week.
I am not a financial advisor.
We're going to talk about the stock market.
Diamond hands, Joshua. Diamond hands.
Going to talk about that 401k. Get your IRA set up. Whatever all these kids need these days.
Yep. Brian turned 25 and went all middle-aged on us. Well, when you, yeah, kind of a little bit. I'm just like trying to, yeah. Are you selling any Bionicle? Oh. Brian is a financial advisor, says Isabel in the chat. Yeah, no, I'm not. Nope, absolutely not. Anyone remember the stream where they discussed taxes? I remember the stream where we talked about like capitalism. That was like a great one. Solid one.
Was that when Dave Pickett was on? Yes. Yeah, that was a good. For anyone who hasn't seen that, you need to go back and watch our episode of Dave Pickett. Yeah. That was a good stream.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever happened to the guy that believed in shadow conspiracies and was your best guest ever?
Him? I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Was that Dave?
I don't know.
Dave. We should get him back on the show.
He always has lots of interesting thoughts to share. We do need to get him back on the show. He's designing video games now. He posts interesting stuff every once in a while from the work he's doing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Speaking of video games, I was playing some Mario Odyssey for the first time in a while last night.
There we go. How many moons do you have?
What's that?
How many moons do you have?
That's a good question. I don't know. I never really know what's going on in that game. I just kind of play it and continue. And all the characters are so weird that I can never really figure out what's happening. But I was moving to the Metro Kingdom, I think it was.
Yes.
Is that one of them? So I was going there, and then I was attacked in the air by Bowser, so I had to destroy him. And then he shot my ship down, and now I'm in the jungle, and that's where
the Lost Kingdom. That's one of the best smaller kingdoms in the game.
No, it's cool. I love the long like centipede things that stretch out,
and they have like musical notes as you stretch them, like.
Yeah, yes. Those things are great. So
Metro City is the best part of that game, and I will die on that hill. You don't want to have this discussion with me, Isabel. I think it's a little overrated for me.
Not the game, that particular
kingdom.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's my favorite. Maybe nostalgia would tell me the Mushroom Kingdom, but I really like the Luncheon Kingdom too. The aesthetic, the purples, the like the neon blues. It's very weird. All the kingdoms are very well designed and different for any Mario game. It's really cool.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's why I can never figure out what's going on, because you move to a new place and everything is so different. And it's like, I've lost track of what's happening now.
That's how I know I'm going to enjoy a video game, where it's like constantly surprising me. And I know that I'm going to get something different every time. It's going to be good.
That's what I like about Cyberpunk.
No, it's the same broken mess over and over again.
Have they fixed that at all yet?
Not really.
Kinda. Like, it's still funny because like when I'm driving in my vroom car, I'll still see cars drop out of the sky, which is hilarious. One time I summoned my car and like it came out of nowhere and then just hit me and I died.
So that's going to be real life with like Teslas in 10 years.
Do me a favor, Joshua. Let the Polish guy in. There he is.
Oh.
Hey. What Polish guy? What?
Hey, Mike.
I'm about to have some of this, Mike. I'm going to have a little more of this.
Oh, nice. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, my microphone was freaking out over the last week because my settings in my system were at plus 22 gain for some reason. So I hope it's good now.
No, you're good.
Alright.
That's weird.
I split that whole thing with my family, Brian, and we all enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm about to
Nice.
split this whole thing with myself. Mike is one of the, if not the only person in this live stream right now that has gotten their hands on the blacksmith shop, and I'm very jealous,
Ooh.
Mike.
Ooh, really? That's my progress so far.
Very cool.
That's 4 bags in out of 14, I think. Yeah, I streamed this late night yesterday. Yeah, I know it's sold out. It's beautiful. It has like the little pumpkin patch to the side and a bunch of things. But yeah, people told me that hey, it's sold out everywhere online. But I went to my local store in San Diego and I was the first person to buy it. There was no one waiting for it. Basically, I went to the opening and there was nobody there. Just entered. I know the manager is like, hi. Do you have the blacksmith? Yeah, you're the first person asking. I was like, cool.
Vision has a message for us in the chat. Apparently, he did not have an untimely demise into Massachusetts Bay.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it, Kirk.
So you guys have a snowstorm, right?
No. So for me, it ended up being a very slushy, heavy snow, and it's all taken care of today.
All right.
I want a 3 feet tall snowbank on the side of the road that causes like the community to collapse over here. I want a snow day.
You would very much enjoy it, huh?
I'm looking for total anarchy.
Yes, in like a civilized anarchy. I don't like. I want it so
Civilized
badly.
anarchy.
Yes,
All the
That kind of contradicts itself.
got to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, big brains.
everyone of like my parents' generation and older in this area constantly brings up the blizzard of '78, which we had here. I'm not sure what all area it hit, but it hit northern Indiana very hard, and
It hit us too.
they constantly like to talk about the massive, like 10-foot tall piles of snow and how no one was, the streets were empty and it was very quiet.
Dude, my mom brings that up too because she's from Valparaiso. So
My mom brings it up all the time.
yeah, whenever it snows, she's like, "Oh, it's not as bad as it was in Valparaiso in 1968." Okay.
I can feel in my bones that some winter of 1958.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like that's like the story of my grandparents from Poland, because Poland had some rough winters. Our climate is, you can either get tons of snow in the mountains, some snow in the central Poland, but yeah, probably like if you ask an old person in Poland, they will have some memorable winters in the past. Like I had to shovel my way like 30 feet of snow in front of my house in 1958.
Isn't it always just cold in Poland, Mike? Like
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Our summer lasts from the Monday of July to some Wednesday in July, and that's the whole summer.
Awesome.
Is it really? So it's pretty bad weather there for a lot of the years.
No, it's funny. It's very inconsistent. So sometimes you have like a super hot summer for exactly 2 months, but sometimes you have just a week of summer. The rest is rain. I think this winter they had some snow in the whole country, but overall, winters are lately cold, gray, and rainy.
Oh,
So you get ice instead of snow. In most
that
parts
sounds
of-
unpleasant.
Yeah, but it's still a beautiful country, We have this term golden fall, where the fall weather is really nice, and you get all those fancy, orange colored trees everywhere, which is like Middle Eastern European climate.
That's kind of how it is here in like northern Indiana, like into Michigan. Yeah, you get like really bad winters, but like spring and fall are super nice with like the trees changing and everything and really good weather.
Yep.
Hey, so I have a question about Lego, not about weather.
Let's talk about weather. Great content, chat. How is your weather, by the way?
Have you all seen this before? This piece?
So these are, I think they're originate from Ninjago.
All right, it's got the Lego stamp in it, and it's definitely Lego.
Yeah, they come in those small
Or I don't know.
bags. They come in bunches, like when you get a CD set and you get mechanic tools, you get a little bag of mechanic tools. These are like Ninjago, I think.
I want to
They
try to
came-
incorporate it into this buggy
Yeah.
that I'm going to be building.
They came in the Ninjago City Gardens for sure.
Oh well, I don't have an extra $350.
Oh, the real Slim Shady is from Poland, actually. Welcome.
So
Jeff, you don't just have Ninjago City Gardens money sitting around?
no. Well, I did Monday, but then I had to pay debt. So now I'm completely debt free though. I'm really happy about that. When you get old,
I'm gonna flex on Joshua.
Yep. I'll get there eventually.
Is this the third stream you're building this?
Yes, and I want to
Wow.
finish it today.
Well, this is what you get when you finish. It's beautiful, actually.
Wait, that half section took you 2 streams, Joshua?
Wow.
That is incredible.
I'm
Oh,
a slow builder. I'm a
It's,
super slow builder, and it took me on.
The last plate is a third, so it's like 2/3 of it.
look, from what I know about the Beyond the Brick crew for building, took Kirk Wilson to build an robot for 2 hours that was this big. This big.
So wait,
What?
Jeff, I don't think we didn't hear the end of your Dave Ramsey "I'm debt free" story.
Oh, so like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I invested in GameStop as like a joke, and then I had 40 shares, and then last Friday, I made close to $5,000.
That's
And then-
awesome.
Wow.
Monday, I made $20,000 after taxes. It was 13, and
Diamond
I paid off
hands.
all of my debt.
Wow, that's
Diamond
great.
Wow.
Good job.
Really? Dude, that's amazing.
Diamond hands. Hold on.
Wow. And I was like, I'm not buying GameStop. It seems too risky.
Well, now it's
it was
plummeted,
risky
so-
2 years ago, and then
It's plummeting for now, Joshua. Diamond hands. Hold the line. We're not financial advisors.
Did you
And
buy
to be
some?
fair, everything is down today. Hold the line. Hold the line.
I still have stock in AMC, so like that's only going for about $15 a share.
Did you use did you use Robinhood or
We're
like a
getting way
trader?
too old.
I
This
used
is-
my accountant.
Oh,
That's also a good idea.
yeah.
'Cause, Timmy gives me all my financial advice, so this is
Can he give me financial advice?
what?
Can he give me financial
I'm
advice?
sure he'd
Just
be happy to.
tell me what stock to buy that's going to be worth 10 times the amount this time tomorrow. Thanks, Timmy.
Yeah, Robert, AMC dropped to 777 over the weekend, so like I'm still gonna hold on to it just because there's benefits to being a shareholder, not like a big shareholder, but a shareholder. So
Diamond hands. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm
So-
glad you got your debt paid off, Jeff. That's very
That's
impressive.
amazing, dude. So
Good job.
so how much stock did you buy initially and what price? Like just like kids don't listen. It's just I'm just asking out of curiosity, okay? So how much did you buy, Jeff?
I bought 40 shares like a year and a half ago, and they were about $1.50 a piece.
What? Wow.
$1.50. You said you bought it as a joke? Like, did you have any idea what you were gonna do with it, or you just
No,
like?
I was honestly looking into like playing the stock market game, and I knew that games were coming out, and I knew the pandemic was going to hit. So I was like, well, everybody's going to want to go to GameStop for games and everything
Which-
else.
It's not necessarily true, but
It's not, but it was a big risk on my end.
Yeah.
Like not really a big risk, but a risk enough to be like,
I mean, what it was $40 turned 20,000. That's what it was.
yeah.
Wow. So you know, it's like $40. It's like, you know, well, for lunches you just
I mean,
cancel
technically
for
it was
lunches and you're good,
25,000,
right? So
But yeah, anyway, so like after taxes and everything else, we threw the remainder in our savings account, and we're just gonna let that build up some interest, and then hopefully when this whole mess is taken care of, Emily and I will have a nice wedding, and hopefully some of you all will be there. So here's
awesome,
hoping.
dude. Congrats. Beyond
So did
beyond
you?
the stonks, I see.
So in recent times before the stock exploded, did you think it was a bad purchase, or I guess had it gone up a little bit since you bought it?
I honestly forgot about it
Oh,
until I until I started reading Reddit, and I went, "Wait a minute," and then I went, "Wait a minute," and then I went, "Wait a minute," and then I checked, and I went, "Oh my god, did I unintentionally do something awesome?" And yes, I did. So
Anyone here owns Dogecoin?
This is such an inspirational story.
It is. It is. No, really, congrats, man. That's super cool to hear, actually.
it was amazing, and I was just blown away. Like, Emily was like, "So how much Lego are you gonna buy?" And I was like, "None."
Zero.
All of it.
Yep, 0. That's the answer. That's how you know you've ascended to being old as dirt. When you come into a lot, like a good chunk of change, and then you're like, this is going right into a Roth IRA, and it's gonna accrue, and you're like, ah. Listen, chat, here's my financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Just keep buying Lego. Don't worry about the future. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Mortgage and wife who? Doesn't matter.
With the way Lego goes up in price, that's honestly not bad. I mean, a lot of the sets, I think you'd do well in the end.
Which is why, hello, I'm knocking at the door now with 70% of my collection. Hey, let's see. But yeah, no, don't worry about the future. It's fine. Beyond the weather and stocks, yes, we're shooting for all-time low viewership here. So if anyone,
we're just shooting for a more mature audience. That's what we're
yeah. Yeah. Brian, do you want to get these people in debt? Well, if you make 7 figures a year, you can buy as much Lego as you want. It's fine.
Is that what Jeff makes now? Wow.
Yeah. You look at him. Look at him. Look at that camera angle. Of course he does.
He's a Wall Street wolf right now.
Right.
So he looks down on us. He's like,
yeah.
What?
He's
So-
I didn't even like.
he's a full-fledged investor.
I did almost pull the trigger on something that I should have never ever considered. So I got the money. We paid off all our stuff, and Emily is like, "We have X amount left over," and I was like, "Yeah, we do." She's like, "You could put like 80% of that in your savings account, and then take the 20 and do whatever you want with it." And I'm like, "Oh."
You could have bought
So
the
I went
Ghostbusters
to Hot
headquarters.
Toys, and I almost bought the Iron Man War Machine. I'm sorry, the War Machine Punisher hot toy, which is a bigger version of this.
I would say, Jeff, it's a good thing the Comic-Con is not this month, because you would go to like slideshow booth and all the earnings gone.
Yeah. Like, I always worry about that. Like, there's stuff that I want, and like that is like the only hot toy I'll ever spend. A hot toy is a high grade figure for the most part. They run from anywhere from $200 to $500.
You should have gotten the Ghostbusters headquarters, because I know you wanted that for so long.
God, dude, I want it so bad, but
You should have.
it's like you say, I'm old.
Well, but that's okay. So there's a difference between you wanting everything as no matter what, but then the thing that you want, like that is the thing, and you're like,
Hey.
that's it.
I made a video about that on my channel.
There you go.
Check it out.
I'm just gonna say that don't ever feel bad about things you want in your life as long as you can afford it and it makes you happy. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Well-
It's your money.
Like, that's the thing, is like, it'll come later. Like, right now, my priority is Emily and I tying the knot and us moving forward, and just getting out of this haze of living in sin, as it were. So, yeah, I mean, that it matters to us. She wants a big, fancy wedding, and we're going to get married at an aquarium, because that's where our first real date was. So, and it's just...
God, I want to get married among the penguins. That sounds romantic.
There are penguins. There's a lot of penguins. We're gonna get married. The shark tunnel thing that they have. That's gonna be the aisle that she walks down. And
So can you rent like an aquarium for that? Is that possible?
yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, really?
We
That's
don't
awesome.
have it booked yet, but it's $5,000 to rent the aquarium
Okay.
from like closing time until like 1 in the
Oh,
morning.
okay. So it's like after hours. Gotcha. Nice.
And we're allowed to look at all the displays and everything else. Like, all the displays will be active.
Seems like a good deal.
Yeah, they got
Can I-
a band that they'll provide, and we're we're looking at catering stuff. Emily keeps saying no to pizza, but I'm like, but it's pizza. But we'll figure it out.
If you spend all that money to get married at the aquarium and you get local chain pizza, I don't know, but no. No, just no.
Look,
No.
when you get out here and you visit
When?
before the wedding,
I'm
because
sorry,
you're gonna have to,
Who?
I will take you to Hideaway, and then you'll go, yeah, we should probably do this for the wedding.
Okay.
Mhm.
Can I
You're
tell you?
you're in Oklahoma, right, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, sir.
Can I tell you a unique financial goal I have of mine?
Oh, God.
Yes.
No, it's a good one. So
Is this the giant hamster wheel exhibition that you've been
Oh.
doing?
No.
Hello.
So, and David can give me his feedback on this one. So, I went to the New England Aquarium last year, 2 years ago, and they have this giant board above the giant cylinder, where they have all the fish and everything. So, if you've ever seen Aquaman, the scene where they have the giant fish tank and everything, that's recorded at the New England Aquarium, and it's a big cylinder. And at the very top of it, they have a list of everybody that's donated any money ever in like a massive amount. So they have like, 10,000, 20,000, whatever. And they only have like 2 names on the million plus list. And I'm like, I want to be in a financial position enough where I'm able to donate $1 million. Not just because it's the aquarium and I support the conservation and everything else like that, but I want to be able to say like, listen, hey, guys, I'm willing to give you guys $1 million. I really appreciate what y'all do, but I need 24/7 access to the penguins unconditionally. And as long as they agree to that,
That is becoming awkward, Brian.
what do you mean awkward? I give them $1 million, they give me the penguins. What's the big deal?
Give me the penguins.
What's
It
the big
sounds
deal?
like you need to get on a boat to Antarctica is what you need to do, Brian.
I feel like that's going to be my mid-20s like indie film that I take with a
You
with
should
a
become
film
a
camera
traveler
and
like Joshua here. He was going places with a Lego minifigure. We should do that.
Yeah, I know.
You can bring your Hoth snowspeeder to Antarctica like I did, and
Yeah.
then you're all set.
Great. You know what? I'll take my little Piplup over here. This guy too. Take him.
Guys, can we share a thing? I have a screen share going on. That's coming from our fan right now. Do you see it?
Joshua, the next time that Beyond the Brick is scheduled to go to Antarctica, you send me and Brian. We'll bring back souvenirs, a.k.a. penguins.
I'll keep penguins in my room.
Look, man, I can take a swan. I can take a penguin.
What
So-
was this, Mike?
This is a guy that is watching me and watching the Beyond the Brick, and he made a mosaic of our logo.
Very nice. Shout
Very
out
cool.
to what is his username there? Thank you.
Brickman Mosaics Art.
There we go.
Thank you.
It captures our logo very well. He's even got the
Yeah, it's like a 3D
little
and
bricks
everything.
in there.
Yeah. And even like the fade, the little fade. All right, thanks for sharing, dude.
Very cool.
I've got to open up some new parts, so time to mute the mic.
Hey, David.
How's everybody?
David's like,
Talking about
what are
penguins.
you guys talking about? Penguins and stonks and weddings?
I actually,
Yeah, so, David, how much you got in GameStop? Let's talk. Let's talk financial.
How much did you get in Dogecoin?
I want to say congratulations to Jeff. That is some luck right there, man. That
Yes.
you had some games.
No. That's not luck. That's key financial.
40
like,
bucks
foreshadowing.
into 20 grand. I call it a good investment.
That's
Is that
Jeff,
how much you
brilliant
got it for?
financial mind at work.
Was it really $1 a stock? Is that what you paid for it?
No, it was $1.50.
That is incredible.
Oh, in that
Wow.
case, it's not worth it.
It was
Oh
60.
my god.
It was like $60 when it was all said and done. My accountant in Arizona was like, "Are you sure about this?" I was like, "Absolutely."
And then you forgot about it.
And then I
You
forgot
should-
about
You should put that story out there because I can almost tell you right now that there's going to be documentaries on HBO about this in the next year or so, and you could be on the documentary. I guarantee you.
it. No, thank you. No, thank you.
But seriously, that's awesome.
It was something, that's for sure. I don't know. I'm just happy that I'm debt free.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like that guy
that's
that
very
had the
responsible of you as well.
it's like that guy that had the Bitcoin wallet that he forgot the password to, and now it's
Oh,
like few
man.
And
I
like
don't
I
feel
think
for
he had
that
like
guy.
I don't know the update of the story, but he had 2 tries of the password left to his crypto wallet, and there were like $5 million sitting in there in Bitcoin. And he's like, I don't know the password.
That's awesome.
So,
Beyond the
Dave-
Brick does need to do more to teach financial responsibility. So thank you, Jeff, for getting us off to a good start.
Yep.
Hey, no problem. Hey, so Brickman Mosaic Art, the fan art that Mike just showed off, he's in chat, so that's awesome.
Oh, well,
there you
cool.
go.
Thanks for joining.
Yep. So David, what mega like Star Wars complex? Oh my God, is he really gonna build this? Or are you working on next?
So I'm going to be actually challenging myself to make 2 mocks at the same time, which is going to be interesting. They're not going to be as big as what I've made previously on my YouTube channel. So one's going to be a 9x9 gray base plate mock, and the other is going to be a 2x8 gray base plate mock, or it's 2x4, 8 base plates and all. So that should be fun. So the plan is to switch week to week between each mock. Like you're working on one week, working on the next, and I think it could work because the way I build my mocks on my YouTube channel is like every week I'm making an update of like some new progress. And as I'm building these things, I'm sure anybody can relate when they're building mocks. Like they get into it. Oh, I don't have that piece. I need to order it off Bricklink, or I need to go to the Lego store and pick that up, or something that I don't have. And that happens so many times as you're building a mock. And so giving that like week to switch over to the other mock allows that week of like ordering parts, having them come in, and by the time it's a week after, you have the parts, and it's kind of more simultaneous and should theoretically allow me to build faster.
So that's all well and good. The thing that I'm more impressed by is your shelving background. Do you mind tossing
I'm
Dave
digging
here
your
on the full
shelves a
screen?
lot.
I want to
Thank
take a
you.
good look. So I was following the vlog, and I'm like, I just want to look for it looks great, man. Like, I know it's a lot of shelving and a lot of time, but
I just put up more shelves. They're in a different room, and I bought these things. They're plastic clear bins from this
Is that
company called
IKEA or no?
Uline. No, this is
that's not IKEA.
Uline. It's
okay, that's the brand.
a shipping company, actually. They make shipping products. They're actually cheaper than using their shelves. I compared against IKEA bins and container store bins, and this was the cheapest option that was still high quality. And
Nice.
they're actually commercial grade, so it's great for Lego. Because Legos are just so I don't know, special. You don't want your bricks to get I guess damaged from sunlight or anything like that.
David has those presentation skills from that CNBC interview.
Oh God,
That
was fun, though.
Now he's like he's a TV personality now.
I did enjoy that.
That was cool, actually, dude. I watched it.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you.
That
Yeah.
ties in nicely with our financial advice segment that we're starting on the show.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now we do like TV presentation advice,
I hope I represented the AFL community decently in that interview.
I felt very represented. So
Okay, good. Appreciate
I
it.
think you left out the Twitch side a little too much.
I'm sorry.
That's all
David,
right.
I have more questions for you if you don't mind answering them. You don't know me from Tom from Chuck, which is A-okay, so you have no idea who I am. But I'm going to ask some questions.
Okay,
So I've
sure.
been following your work for a while because I'm kind of a weirdo, and I'm like, hey, that's a big Star Wars thing, so I take a look.
No, you're fine, man.
Have you ever thought about making the switch from, I know this is going to be shocking and people will look at me funny and they'll go, Jeff, why'd you ask this? But from Lego to action figure diorama photographing.
I've considered it because I have I don't know. I have actually been buying action figures recently. Let me grab them. I don't know. I have been collecting the Black Series figures. These are actually pretty valuable. I think they're hard to get. These are from the Clone Wars show. So it's a possibility because I've gotten into collecting action figures, but I don't know. It would be cool. The thing is like with action figure dioramas, you're having to actually like. I feel like you have to go to like a train show and use that type of stuff, like the actual like moss and stuff like that.
No.
You have to like build courses and stuff out of wood and all that.
No, not at all. So there's a guy called Rocco the Great, and he is a toy photographer and basically what we do, but with Lego for mods.
Right.
And he gives excellent tutorials on how to do it at not a budget, but at a respectable price rather than spending $3,000 on fake moss.
Uh-huh.
So like,
Honestly.
I just maybe something to look at. I don't know, because that'd be cool to see a Star Wars mock. The only problem would be army building, because you are right. Stormtroopers are like $25 a piece.
Yeah. Exactly. So maybe one day. I don't know. It's not out of the question, that's for sure. But I like my Lego, if I'm being honest.
Please stick with Lego so we can make more popular videos with you.
I'm very, very excited for 2021. It's weird that we're in February now. Like, it's still, I feel like it doesn't hit you that you're in the next year until like March.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's right, it's 2021.
This will be a tough month because right now, the Blacksmith came out. Pretty much a lot of people want this set. The Porsche is coming out. Apparently in March, we're getting the Space Shuttle Columbia.
Is that what the kids are saying?
That's
I've
what the kids
heard
are saying. But,
speculation about that. Be careful with your wording there, Mike.
Yeah. People say it will be a shuttle, probably. I mean, if you think about it, guys, because they gotta do another space set. What else?
No,
could
they
it
don't.
be?
Nope. Space has gotten
Why?
plenty of attention.
But it's continuous. It's you get the
Fazoom has left the chat.
we got the Saturn V, we got the lander. What else could it be, right?
I hope so. I love I have all the space sets. I even have the original shuttle. So what year did that came out? Was that 2010, 2012?
Yeah, been a while.
I love that set. I have that, the lander, the ISS, the
I'm just trying to
yeah.
move to space conversation because today the Starship is attempting a second flight.
Is this Elon's like SpaceX? Is that what you're talking about?
They are live right now from Texas.
Oh, very
and
nice.
It's about to fly for the second time in an hour from now.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it gonna blow up? I don't know. The last one did.
I hope it doesn't blow up.
I do hope, but even if a successful rapid disassembly is still a success.
I'm just looking
Flynn?
forward to whenever we go back to the moon. It seems so far away.
No, you just got to keep holding. Diamond hands, David. Hey, Flynn, how are you? Welcome on in.
Hey, Brian. Good. How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Good to see y'all today. I am sorting today rather than
Whenever
building.
somebody joins, you should have some random sentence to just so yeah, I like the fluffier bunnies as well. Yeah.
Right. Just got to toss
I think they're
someone
great.
in.
So I'm very fortunate enough to have a friend who has been doing trade hours at our local Bricks and Minifigs, helping them sort out through all of their stuff. And he comes by with like enormous bags full of, because he does it for trade, so they basically let him keep what he wants, and he just comes by and drops off amazing pieces of Lego, like just bags of Fabuland table, giant treasure chest piece.
That's not Duplo, is it?
No, it's not. It is not Duplo. It is in fact just a very large Lego.
What set is that from?
I have no idea.
Wow.
That's the magic of getting random stuff picked out of a bin. But tons of these, which I'm really psyched about.
That
They're
looks like a Paradisa sort of
Yeah.
vibe.
They're like fence pieces, but they make really awesome cathedral windows. I think with some
Yeah.
with some trans pieces behind.
They look
I
good.
think it looks really cool. Yeah, so just planetary gear, when the top part of the planetary gear is clear.
Wow.
All old train doors. Like seriously, it's just like a whole bizarre random bag of amazing stuff. So always love going through these bags.
When they end up selling stuff, are they selling by color or just like sorting? Like y'all just sort whatever pieces you want out of a bin and you call it. Like how do they do it?
Oh, you mean at our local Bricks and Minifigs?
Yeah.
Oh, it's by weight. So you just pick up and it's by bag size. So they charge by bag size, and then what my friend is doing is going through and like separating Technic from the more brighter they kind of keep all of their friends color palette-y stuff in one area, and then there's just the massive pile of regular bricks. So he's going through and separating all that stuff out, and then, picking up cool stuff. Hey,
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to interrupt for a second. I gotta actually go. Today is my little thing I gotta do with my day and schedule. So thanks for even having me for a few moments. I appreciate it.
Totally.
Thanks for stopping by.
And,
mate.
yeah, you guys have plenty of cameras anyway, so I can totally
Always good to see you.
Thanks so much. Peace out. Love you guys.
Talk to you later.
Talk later.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Flynn,
yes.
hello. It's good to see you, sir.
Is the book
Always
coming
good to
back,
see you.
Jeff? Is it the book of the cup?
Nothing.
Okay.
So, I was going through those parts that I was talking to you about, and I found more Fableland stuff. Do you want it?
Oh, I will always say yes to Fabuland.
Okay.
Absolutely, Jeff. Thank you so much. That's
No
awesome.
problem.
I'm a big Fabuland fan.
All right, I'll load it up because I found the fishing pole that goes with one of the figures and like everything else too. Like
Oh, the fishing pole that has a little fish on the end of it.
yeah, it's yellow.
Oh, that's awesome. Because when we did our Fab Max build, one of the things that I built was a Fabuland inspired sushi barge, and I had a guy, it was in like a toxic river, and I had a guy fishing off the end of the boat, and I had to use just a regular old Lego fishing rod, and I was coveting that fishing rod. So awesome! It's the one piece I kept together, so I'll have to use that there.
I'll definitely send it your guys' way. I know that you guys appreciate it, and I'll never use it. So.
Awesome! Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And Dan's here. Dan.
Hi, Dan.
After being in the big guy corner.
Morning. Yeah, that's why we're down the bottom, Jeff, because we take up the whole screen ourselves.
I got him
Come
down
on.
there too, man.
Come on, you guys up there. Get good. 2 of us for 4 of you. Yeah. Get good.
We got it covered down here. We're holding the fort.
Jeez.
Yeah. Wait. Isabel says that the chest is from the Hogwarts Express set. No, that's it's a big chest though.
It's
like-
big.
It's like a super, much larger than the normal one.
It looks like 4 by 6
Wow.
size on the bottom.
Dan, do you know where that's from? Any ideas?
I don't know. I just wanted to let David know I'm stalking him again. So
I know, Dan. Good to see you again, man. I saw you last
Yeah.
night.
I know, right? No, I have no idea what that chest is from.
Oh, Flick is asking, wait, Dan, did you have to adjust your camera so you weren't upside down considering you're in New Zealand or no?
Yeah, definitely. It's like on an automatic rotation, so you guys see it the right way up every time, but I'm still upside down to myself. So that's why my hair's sticking up this morning. You see, it's the gravity.
Oh, maybe I'm on the other side of the world too. With my
Wow. It's a thing. It's a real thing.
yeah.
It's
So,
more
Brian,
like the fact that I just dragged myself out of bed. Actually,
This is why I didn't know if I could invite you to these things because I'm like, isn't it like super early in the morning for you? And you're like, no, man, don't worry about it. I'll be there. Don't worry.
Oh no, they start at 7, and I was awake when you started, and it's taken
That's
me
early
40
in the
minutes
morning.
to get out. Yeah, that's
Well,
okay.
What are you
Coffee
saying, David?
fixes
What are you
everything.
saying, David?
I'm saying, if you got any Star Wars, you were talking about selling some of the Lego.
Fam.
You can always hit me up with some of that.
Damn, I got so many 501st battle packs. No, I'm just kidding. No. I'm assembling a brick set list of everything I have, which I have a third of my collection. I think maybe a little bit less, and it's already like 160 sets and 500 minifigures, so it's kind of ridiculous. But I gotta go through everything. So probably tonight, tomorrow, by the next quarantine cast, I hope to have a list of like everything that I have, and then let the people have it. So I'll let you know.
Was it the saloon you were trying to sell a while back? Did you ever sell that?
I did, yes. I did. Yeah, it is gone, and that is just one of the few things. I put a bunch of other miscellaneous things on eBay, like an old camera, an old capture card, my old graphics card. That sold very quickly, so someone's gonna mine Bitcoin with it and make thousands of dollars. And that's exactly what they're going to do, which I don't care. Sure, whatever. I don't have the brain space to figure that out. A lot of things. So, yeah.
It was Jeff who bought it. He's moved on from GameStop.
Yeah. You know what? I believe it. I believe it.
Hey,
Are you shipping to New Zealand?
Star Wars nerds, hi. I don't know where this droid is from, but I have him.
Oh, he's from, I want to
Star
say
Trek.
it's like Set 10's Jedi Starfighter. It's like a 2011 set, I believe. 2011, 2010, something like that.
Has 672 pieces, set number
I
34968.
could name that off. I'm not that good. I wish I could.
I
But
Stargate, so yeah.
let's see if I'm right. I'm going to actually look it up.
So somebody in the chat said this treasure chest is from a board game. Now I'm on Bricklink right now, and I can't find it under treasure chest. But yeah,
Oh, I was wrong. I was close, but I was wrong. This is the one I was thinking of. It's like a green one.
It's close.
It is close, but I was wrong. So I'm not that good.
I don't know. I didn't ever buy Yoda Starfighter, Victor. Oh God, I can't say your last name. So I don't think it's from there.
Actually, you know, he might be right.
about let's see.
Yeah, about that droid.
No.
No, that's R2D2. Yeah. I
It's
don't
an
know.
R2 droid.
So many mysteries on today's quarantine cast. Where's this treasure chest from? Where's this droid from? Who knows?
Oh, I do have something to kind of ooh and ah people with. So in that big lot that I've been going through with all the Fableland stuff, I found the OG X-wing minus the cockpit. And yes, I know the wings are on backwards. So yep,
That's
Very
cool.
nice.
it's pretty neat. I really like it. I changed out Luke's face for a more accurate face with visor and everything because that's just something you do.
There you go.
And Brian, I can relate with you. I have like, I don't know, I'd say like 50 gallons worth of Lego that needs to be just, I'm not going to sort through it. I'm never going to get to it. I just need to sell it.
You know what
It's
needs
just-
to happen? We need to have like an online content creator like division of a convention hall, and it's like this is all the Lego from all the famous people. Come buy it, and then you have most of it. I have like half a table, right? You get everyone who's like, you know, let's just get rid of stuff, and then some people are like, oh, but David of Solid Brick Studios touched this, and then you know, that's it.
I just sold some Lego Star Wars sets that I feel like people paid more just to
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
There is a level to that.
And you know what? If you included like a little business card in there or like a custom, like a minifigure, you got to sweeten the pot, David. Gotta sweeten the pot.
You know, you guys think like
No.
maybe a charity stream, like half of the
Little
proceeds.
signed card.
There you go.
Like half the proceeds that you make from selling your collections and everything goes to whatever charity, and you guys you keep the rest, of course. But I mean, like maybe do it virtually, maybe throw it up on YouTube or Twitch or something. And
Well, that always gets tough because all of those auctions and things have to be through like a verified place. So like what some people do though is they're like, oh, we're gonna hold an auction for whatever in the YouTube chat, and it's like that's a little weird. Okay, and then people don't even pay half the time. So like you gotta like do it right. I feel like it has to be at a convention, which will be in 2026 at this rate. I don't know,
Yeah.
but something.
all I know is I have to work security for whenever you go to a convention, so I guess that's my job.
There you go. That's it.
Okay, everyone can relax. I have discovered the where this is from.
Okay.
So, in brown, it's from Fabuland, and it was in a set called Bonnie Bunny's Camper, and it was not used as a treasure chest. The bottom of it was used as like a garden box, and the top of it is used as the top of her camper on the back of her car.
Wow.
And then it got used a bunch of more times in Belleville sets in all kinds of like pink and purple and other kind of colors. So they exist in including trans dark pink in a lot of colors, these things. So there you go.
You know,
So-
there's a passionate Fabuland base, a passionate Bionicle base. Where's the passionate Belleville fans? Where are they at?
Right here.
Oh, there they are. Okay, there's all of that. Nice.
Oh man, no, it's funny because we when we were first started doing our show, I mentioned Belleville only because I thought it was just like such a bizarre, like interesting, weird, off theme. And then like less than 24 hours later, one of the people who watches the show emailed me and they're like, "Hey, I was looking at Craigslist because she lives in my area. I was looking at Craigslist and this person is selling a bunch of Belleville stuff and it's like really cheap. You should check it out." So I went and checked it out, went and got them, and there were about like 7 sets complete with instructions in pristine condition, like they were taken out of the box, like, and then put on a shelf and displayed. And they really do have some really cool big treasure chests and some cool background pieces. The figures are terrifying, but they do have a lot of really cool pieces that you don't see in a lot of other sets. And of course, the stuff where all the props for them are made really big, so they're much larger than minifig size. But cool stuff. I do like the Belleville. I gotta say, it's a weird. It exists in that same world, like Galador. Like just with the really weird figures and stuff like that, like completely off brand seemingly. But there you go. I've said my Belleville piece. We can move on now.
Can we?
We can keep talking about it if you want.
Good to give the lesser known theme some love.
Yeah, absolutely.
April in the chat says, "Loving the beanie, Brian. Thank you. I got to keep the curls on lock. You know how it is."
Do you sell those?
Yes, they're on my Etsy shop. I'm just promoting all my stuff, man. Just buy my stuff. I got it. Listen, pay the bills. All right. Hey, I got a coffee now. Look at that. There's a coffee right there. Bam, Brixo Brew. Hey, David, you have a coffee sponsorship? I don't think so. Man. Where's that solid Bricks Brew? All right. Let's get on the ball here. All right.
I'm actually even considering buying like a fancy coffee maker, like one of those like high-end ones.
Yeah, and then you get the coffee sponsorship, and you say, "Guys, when you're building your Lego Star Wars MOCs at 4:00 in the morning, what you need is a cup of the solid Bricks Brew," and then you can buy it. There you go.
That's not a bad idea. I like it.
Right.
But in the meantime, until David gets the solid Bricks Brew, make sure you go out and buy yourself some Brian Brew.
Bricks. I'm sorry, Dan. Bricks Brew.
Oh, Bricks. Sorry, I haven't seen the advertising. I wasn't in on that memo.
They don't play the ad in New Zealand, so
no. Sorry. I'll just stick to my. I don't know what this is, but it's
tea water or something. Leaf water.
Pretty good.
I don't know why
tea
you
water.
have
tea water. I'm sorry. I saw your tweet yesterday about your big cup of tea that you were getting cozy with.
All right. Listen, the coffee it dries out my voice with the caffeine. You gotta have some tea every once in a while, man.
Yeah, sure.
I can't. Okay, I turned 25. I need to get the finances in order. I need to stop drinking as much coffee. I'm getting the jitters. All right, Dan.
Oh my God, 25. Wow.
Dan, I need to start settling down, man. Life is coming to a standstill here, man. I don't know.
Mate, it's zipping away before you know it. You'll be 45.
I know.
Oh, wait. No, wait. Too late.
Wow. This stream has really matured over the months.
That's a word people use. Yeah.
Well, hey, he's got, Brian's 25 now. We've got to take it up to that next maturity level. Imagine what it's going to be like when he's 30. He's going to be wanting blankies.
I'm going to want only socks.
Going to be needing some mittens. Jeez.
Hey, mittens make you go viral, man.
Whose last name I can't say comes through with the clutch. The droid's from the Arc Fighter, and I remember buying the Arc Fighter. So, all right, thanks, Victor.
Here's a question. I think Dan, have you built the blacksmith set?
Yeah, twice.
So there you go. So what were your thoughts? I think we might have talked about this before.
Yeah,
but
we've talked about it like 3 times. But Dan, one more time for the people in the back.
Yeah, there's always new people stopping by.
That's fine. I don't mind talking about it. That's why they sent it to me. I really liked it. When I first saw it, I thought it was, it's clearly different to the original idea submission. But come on, we've got to get used to the fact that Lego are going to make these sets sellable for them, buildable for them. They're not going to use all of the really, really, really fine details that AFOLs like to use. It's just not going to happen. Now, the actual build itself is really nice. It's detailed, it's easy, it's interesting. There is enough technique in there that makes it kind of fun. There is some new stuff, there's some new colored parts, and I just think it looks really, really nice once it's done. And it's done in a modular style. It's all 4 walls, it's stacked 3 floors tall. It's not quite as big as a modular, but it's done in that same style. So personally, I really enjoyed the build. I have built it twice. The roof section is really nice, and I think it is reasonable bang for buck for what you get. So I am disappointed there was no goat. Everyone wanted a goat.
Yeah, April said that in the chat with the goat.
But let's face it, at the end of the day, it's like monorail. It's not coming back, okay? It's just not. There's no goats
is
for the
much
future.
more practical than a monorail. Like the
This
goat
is true. This is true.
But
This
I
is
think
true.
I want them to come out with like a farm thing again. I know kids love farming, right? But I want they love farming just as much as they love 501st battle packs, right, David?
You sound like you're from Indiana.
I'm sure.
Oh,
There's got to be goats in the Star Wars universe somewhere, right?
One second. Hold on. I actually bought this tractor right here. This city tractor that just came out.
I've seen that. That looks good. Yeah.
Should have had a goat in it.
So
I'm actually a big tractor fan, believe it or not, Brian. And I wanted to modify it to be like my favorite tractor, which is a Kubota tractor. So I've started modifying it to be orange, and it's coming along. Actually, it's a nice little project. They didn't make this bow piece in orange yet, which sucks. So I'm gonna have to replace it with black. But it's a pretty good tractor.
Are you a tractor fan from like actual experience on farms, or just like as a mode of transportation?
So I grew up on what was it, like 11 acres. So we actually had a Kubota tractor. So I can say from experience, yes.
There you go.
You know what, David? I want you to be the old guy that goes down to like the auction house, and you're all in your suit from the 2020s, and you're like 90 years old, and you're bidding on like multi-million-dollar tractors from your childhood. That's what I feel like you could be doing.
I hope so. Honestly, though, January was a terrible month for me. I think I've spent more on Lego in January than I have in any other month in 2020, and that's not a good thing.
Looks like the brick store is about to get hit with some new inventory. Chat, get ready.
No, but they were everything I bought was sealed sets from years ago. So, are you a Hobbit
really
fan,
expensive
Brian?
stuff. Nice.
Are you a Hobbit fan? Did you like the movies?
I actually, so that was during my time working at Lego, so I got a lot of the sets. But I liked them. But now that I've separated myself from them, I've never been compelled to watch them ever again. So now I've had all these sets, and I'm just like, I don't know. Lord of the Rings 2.
I recently watched both the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, and I was like, oh, these are good movies. And I was like, oh, these Lego sets they made, they're pretty good. And I was like, if I don't buy them now, they're just going to go up in price later. So I should buy them now. So I went ahead and bought this sealed because I really, really wanted it.
Nice.
I remember working at the Lego store, and they had all of those sets 30% off because no one wanted them because the movies were just not hitting.
You know how much I paid for the dragon set? The Lonely Mountain?
Before you say that, I want to say that I sold that dragon at Brickworld Chicago for like $120, just the dragon. to a
Yeah.
reseller, and he ended up turning right around and listing it for 170, and he sold it by the end of the day. So I can't even imagine how much that set cost you.
It wasn't that bad, I guess, comparative to what you
Define
just said. I paid $275 for a sealed set, so that's $100 more for the actual set sealed. It's not terrible. It's not the worst you could pay.
You know, that's a very nice dragon, I'll say. It's one of the best Lego dragons ever to come out.
That's what
I
Jake
got
said in
boned
his
on that
review,
set.
and I was like, that was convincing.
What do you mean, Dan?
So the Lonely Mountain, when it came out in New Zealand, I bought it from an online store called Mighty Ape, which is kind of like very much a small version of Amazon, but it's for New Zealand only. And they had plenty in stock according to the website. I bought it, paid for it. 3 weeks went by, it still hadn't shipped. Contacted them. Yep, we're still waiting for stock. Oh, hang on, how are you still waiting for stock? 2 more weeks went by, still waiting for stock. Another week went by, cancelled order. By that stage, all of them had gone off the shelf in the shops in New Zealand. So I had to actually buy one in from the States. And it didn't cost me that much. It cost me a couple of $100 New Zealand dollars, maybe 300 New Zealand dollars at the time, including shipping. So, but that was one of the last ones I needed to complete collection. I'm a massive Lord of the Rings Hobbit fan. I have every single set, polybag, SDCC.
You see, when you say that, I just keep thinking, oh God, don't buy all of them. But now you're making me feel like I need to buy all of them.
Well, there's some good ones.
Well,
There is.
love the Helm's Deep Castle set.
Yeah.
Super fun. That was one of the few Lord of the Rings sets I picked up when those were out. But that was a fun set.
I may have picked that up sealed.
Yeah, that's a nice set. For some crazy reason, the add-on to Helm's Deep is horrendously expensive because it has the Aemir figure in it. And it goes for stupid money. The set itself's really small, but it's the only one that comes with that Aemir.
I actually ended up buying I saw someone on Bricklink and I bought it for that edition you're talking about with minifigures. It was used, but it was in like basically brand new condition. The guy had basically opened the set, built it, had it on display for a week, then just put it in a Ziploc bag. And he just like put it up on Bricklink. I think it was like a week or two ago, and he had it for like $65. And I was like, okay, that's not bad.
I bought Weathertop out of the back of some lady's car outside of a Papa John's for $40. Sealed the whole thing, and I got it up in my shelf. And like, I think that was my favorite Lord of the Rings purchase I ever made, because the lady was like, "Hey, are you the guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the guy," and I'm in my Papa John's uniform. And she's like, "Okay, well, it's $40." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah." And so best Lord of the Rings set ever, because it goes for so much now. And I'm like, $40, you got it. Here you go. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to know like who has like the story of the shadiest used Lego deal that they and there I was in the parking lot of the Papa John's. The trunk was open.
Okay, I've got a pretty decent one. This is actually a genuine true story. So I spent a number of years doing house testing, environmental testing for methamphetamine contamination.
Oh my God.
Because that was a big thing. So
have you seen Breaking Bad is my question.
Yeah. So I spent years testing houses for methamphetamine contamination, right? And so I obviously tested a lot of houses in my time. And one day on our local auction site, which is called Trade Me, there's this auction for vintage Lego that was at a really good price, actually. So I bought it. And I was cruising down to pick it up, and I was on the street, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember there's a house up here that I did meth testing on, and it was so badly contaminated that they had to move. Well, I had to go back and do further testing, and it was really, really bad, like manufacturing bad levels, right? Getting closer and closer, and I'm like, that's just up here, that house." closer, pull up outside. Oh, damn it. It's the house.
Oh man.
And I'm sitting outside the house. This is a dead true story. Sitting outside the house, and I'm thinking, all right, two options. Keep driving, get a bad feedback, or just buckle up and go inside and
buy
Yeah,
Lego
there
from
you
a
go.
meth house and see what happens.
from a meth house. And I'm like, it was pretty good vintage Lego.
We're going in, boys. We're going in.
Okay, so I did. I went in, and I knocked on the door, right? This is where it gets funny. I knocked on the door, and the lady answers, meth lady answers, and she's like, she looks at me, and she's like, I know you. And I'm like,
No, madam, you don't.
oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'm playing dumb, right? Trying to play dumb. And she's like, I know you from somewhere. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I meet a lot of people, She goes, I can't say exactly what she said because it involves some expletives. But you're that did that test or in this house. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I've just come for the Lego, okay? I just want the Lego.
Just want the Lego.
You're here for the Lego? Yes, I'm just here for the Lego. Oh, I thought you were back to do more testing. No, we're done. Anyway, so I grabbed the Lego. It was in a box, and it was inside a plastic rubbish bag or trash sack, whatever you want to call it. And I sort of like carried it with my fingertips out to the car, and I put down a plastic mat in the back of my car from my test kit, which I keep in there, and got home. And outside the house at home, everything was unboxed, unbagged, washed twice. Everything that was disposable was disposed of, and yeah, I still have all those sets.
Oh my god!
They sit on my shelf with pride today. They're great.
They're still in a plastic box, actually. I don't even know if I've ever built them, but I've still got them. Maybe one
What
day.
were they?
I am so glad I asked
They were
that
all
question.
sort of 1980s Lego town stuff.
Oh,
'Cause
that's
it's
good
got-
stuff.
Yeah.
It's worth going in for that.
Yeah. There were some boxes as well that just had like the fronts cut off, and I sort of hummed and hawed as to whether I'd keep them. So I have got them, and they're just in a sealed plastic bag. I figured it was all in a sealed bag, and it's it had that musty smell to it that it hadn't seen the light of day for a while. So I tell people that story sometimes. It's just what are the chances? What are the
Are you
chances?
really doing the worst back alley deal Lego story? Because if so, batter up.
Let's go.
All
Oh,
right.
really? Does it get? Wow, I thought that had pretty much reached the pinnacle. All
No.
right.
I don't think it's worse, but I think Jeff's is a good one.
So, this is right after the 4-pack of Ninjago, Superboy, Chima, and the Random Cop came out. Like that was sold at Target, right? And it was the only time Superboy was ever going to come out. I missed the boat completely, and I'm like, okay. And I don't know if anyone here has ever been to Kingman, Arizona, but there's definitely the quote unquote wrong side of the tracks, like to where that is. So I'm mad, I'm angry. A year goes by, and I'm looking at Craigslist, and this guy has like 12 of the packs, like 12 of the 4-packs. And I'm like, okay. So I message him, I'm like, hey, I just want to buy one. What's your address? Da da da. So as I get downtown, I go across the tracks. I'm driving, and I'm driving literally for an hour, which shouldn't happen. But my GPS is telling me, hey, it's this way. I get to this house at the base of a canyon wall. There's like a dead pig, a chicken without its head off, like just laying on the ground. Like there's an abandoned school bus that has like flat tires and like stains of a questionable variety on it, and like part of the trailer that this gentleman lived in looked like it caught fire at one point. So I'm like, okay. And I get out of the car, and I'm a good old boy at heart when it comes to personal protection. So I'm armed, and I'm slowly walking up to this guy's house. And the door gets kicked open, and the shirtless redneck wonder stereotype, oh my God, this man does drugs, steps out onto the front porch in a pair of like old boxer shorts and work boots, and he's got a 12-gauge shotgun leveled at me. So I did this because that's what you do. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. Please don't shoot me. We talked on Craigslist about, your Lego set. And he was like, oh, all right, sit tight, partner. Goes inside, and like 5 children come running out of the house, and I'm like, oh shit,
no.
oh crap, am I freeing them? What's going on here? And they're like, oh, Meester, and I'm like, what is happening? I'm not Indiana Jones. What's happening here? This is not the Temple of Doom. And like, then I hear, you youngins, get back in the trailer. So they all run back to the trailer, and I'm so stupidly perplexed and scared, and I'm like, okay, safety off. Let's just wait here and see what happens. And I'm just terrified at this point. I have no like escape plan. I am literally boxed in, and this is my worst nightmare. And the guy comes out, tosses me a box, and is like, that'll be $20, son. Okay. So I hand him the $20. And he shakes, and he goes to shake my hand, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be horrible. And it was. It was a greasy, like, mess of oil and, like, other things. And, like, my hand smelled really bad for 2 hours. That's how long it took me to get home. And then it was 20 minutes of washing my hand. Turns out this guy was a big member of the KKK and was being arrested that day from the sheriff's department. My buddy told me about it because I was like, dude, I checked out this guy, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
Wow.
That was horrible.
The $10 budget version of the Temple of Doom.
That was
Well, I'm glad you made it out with the Lego. See, all of these stories have a happy ending.
here's my Superboy.
Oh, I just took a train an hour away and like met the guy in the parking lot, and I thought that was something, but like doesn't hold a candle to either of those stories.
When Boone Langston was doing more reviews for us, Lego sent him a set a while back, and I forget what the set was. It was something pretty sizable though, and somebody stole it off his porch, and and then put it on Craigslist, and it was like a set. It was the European version of the set, so Boone knew it was the set that he had gotten that someone stole because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to get a hold of it, and so he told us about it, and we thought for a minute like it'd be great to make like a viral video like confronting the Craigslist guy who stole my Lego set. Then we were like, Boone has a wife and kids. If this went wrong, that's really not worth something bad happening over. So let's not do that.
You can do that to Brian Saviano, not to Boone Langston.
Right, if it was Brian, not a second thought. We would have had him do that. Would have gotten 10 million views confronting the Craigslist person who stole his Lego set.
Right.
So what ended up happening? Did you guys report him?
So Lego was nice enough. They sent another copy of the set, and then I think Boone just let the guy. I'm not sure if he like reported the listing or anything, or what ended up happening with the guy's listing. But fortunately, they sent another set to him, so it was all good in the end.
Phew. My goodness.
I would have that would have been funny though. I would have like offered to buy it and then just like shown up, and that would have been funny.
John and I thought the same thing, but like I said, it wasn't worth the risk if something went wrong with that whole transaction.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
even funnier is like having the cops show up with you to arrest them.
That's true.
That's why you got to have it delivered to the P.O. box, so that way the post office holds it, and that's it.
I've never had package thievery.
Yeah,
I've had Amazon not deliver it right. Like I've had packages go to the next door neighbor across the street, to someone else, but never had a thief who steals off your front porch.
I had a Hogwarts castle stolen from my front porch.
Ooh, and that's a
wow.
big bet.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
So what did you end up doing in that case? Just contacting them and
I couldn't do anything because it was a used copy that a friend had like bought, and I was like, I just don't have room for this. If you want it, I will send it to you. And he sent it to me, and yeah. Well, I already told you. I think I told you all last week that somebody stole our mailboxes. Like, I live in a 4-unit building, and those little square with the narrow boxes.
Yeah.
Somebody came and like tore the entire thing out of the wall. Like, it's
Oh
gone.
my god.
Oh, I thought I told you guys this last week. Oh man. Yeah. My neighbor's like, I hear some funny sounds outside, and we went out, and it was just a big hole in the wall with the wires from where the doorbells used to be. It's like hanging. Yeah.
Wow.
it's
That's the
awful.
mean streets of San Francisco for you.
Well, Oakland, but yes.
Okay, all right.
Man, what do they think it was? An ATM or something?
I know.
Trying to get those stimulus checks or something?
That's what I
Right?
think, honestly. I think that the checks are coming out, people are getting desperate, and they just like, we actually live in a pretty nice neighborhood during the day, but then at night, I think it's it's not a fancy neighborhood, but I think that because it's a little bit more family neighborhood, that sometimes people come from other parts into our neighborhood to look for stuff. So yeah, that happens sometimes.
Huh.
I think back when we were first, I don't know, in the early part of lockdown, Richard and I, we make a habit of taking a walk every day, and I, on multiple occasions, found Amazon packages like ripped open and left in the gutter, and they looked at it and it was like a book, and they would forget it and they just threw it in the gutter. And we returned several packages to places in our neighborhood, to like buildings where they just stolen them and just thrown them in the gutter. So,
Wow.
but I will say this. I hope that, I did end up getting a Hogwarts castle as a gift from the viewers of our show for my birthday. So that was pretty awesome. And I hope that whoever got that Hogwarts castle, I hope that they had kids, and I hope that those kids enjoyed having the Lego, because at that point, I'm sure they probably needed it more than I did, but it was still a bummer to have it stolen off the porch.
Right. That's why I get
Jeez.
super paranoid. I recently started having porch pirates at the apartment that I'm at right now. And whenever there's if there's a Lego delivery, I'm like, oh, if this is an unreleased thing, I better not let someone steal this. That's going to be a big problem. So I'm monitoring it like a hawk.
Yeah, well, we have to do that. We have to do that now, because with our with the mailboxes being gone, that also means all the doorbells are gone, so they can't ring the bell.
Oh, that's
Oh my
double bad.
gosh.
Yeah, so I have to just if I know something's coming, just keep the curtains open and look for the truck and hope that I see it. But yeah, fortunately our mail carrier is awesome, and I keep the front window open, and he just knocks on the window when he shows up, so that we don't have to go downtown to the horrific, terrifying post office and get up.
Jeez.
That's a fair point.
Brian, what level of your apartment do you live on? Are you on the bottom level?
No, second, and I'm toward the back.
Interesting. That's curious to me. I feel like if you're gonna have a porch pirate, usually you're more at risk if you're on the bottom floor. So I'm curious if that happens to people, because I lived in an apartment for 3 years and I was on the third toppest unit, and I never had any issues with that. So I'm curious I wonder if you're on lower levels, if you have more porch pirates because of
I'm
that.
in a building with 30 people, so everything. So I'm in a decent neighborhood too, but it all gets congregated into the very front hallway, and then during the holiday season, people if it's something heavy, then they'll just take it. So what I got, they actually put up a sign, because there's cameras in the lobby too, but someone put up a sign saying, if you're stealing stuff, we see you. And so now I've gotten into the habit of taking it from the outer hallway into the inner hallway, where you actually need a key to get in, so that way people don't take them. But
wait, so you live in an apartment where it's all enclosed?
yes.
Okay, see, the apartment I lived at, it was all It was
No.
outside. You had outside stairs and all that.
You go into the front lobby and you have 30 people during the holidays that are all buying stuff off Amazon. It's basically just chuck it in the car, whatever it is, and
Right. Got you.
So Brian, are we gonna talk about WandaVision?
We can absolutely talk about WandaVision.
You promised me WandaVision talk.
Yes, because
Your lore to get me here.
We've talked about stocks, the weather, Lego, the aquarium. We need to talk about WandaVision and keep it on brand to keep the people interested. So, all right. So,
well, no spoilers, but wow.
So like, what's everyone else's read on WandaVision in here? Because it's a different crew from last week.
Me and my girlfriend have been watching it weekly. We love the show. We thought the latest episode was great. It was very interesting. Gave a different perspective on Endgame. So great.
Yeah. I think it's so cleverly put together and so well produced, and I really love their playing with I don't know. Actually, I know one of the things I love that they're playing with is the aspect ratio of the images.
4:3 to 6:9.
Yeah, it's so smart. I was just like, wow, that is so good, and just representing different realities, and it's just, I thought that was right on.
I think so. I brought this up in the Twitch stream, I think yesterday, that people are seeing that it's a very slow burn, and that's fine as a Marvel fan. But if you're not a Marvel fan and you're watching it, and you're like, all right, well, what's going on? Why should I be invested? It's not progressing enough. So that's why week 1 they came out with 2 episodes, and now this week I believe they're coming out with 2 more episodes at the same time to kind of get the ball rolling. And there's only 8 episodes or something like that. Yeah. So I think it's a bit slower than people want it to be, but I like what they're doing with it. And I think it would have had a better overall response if it released 2 at a time or all at once, just to get people. But it's suspense too.
Well, it's the tease, right? That's especially those first 3 episodes, especially. They're just like dropping little things. And I know we talked about, you and I talked about this on your Twitch stream, the attention to detail and the set design. That second episode is the Bewitched house. Like, it is that. Like, if you actually look at it, it is the exact same layout, rooms in the same places, and the same thing with the Brady Bunch episode. That is they are in the Brady Bunch house, like 100%. And man, they really, somebody put a lot of work into that.
Yeah.
That's
how many episodes have been released now?
4.
Okay, so I've only watched the first 3. I haven't watched the 4th one yet.
The 4th one is kind of the, where things I
start
think
to
really
tell where it's going. Yeah, I think the end of episode 3 was hinting at what was going on, because I think for episode 1 and 2, I don't know about anyone else, but I sat there and I was like, where is this going? Whose reality is this? And then I think episode 3 starts to indicate whose reality it is, and whose alternate reality it's going to be.
Well, I also think for any comic book fans, they kind of already knew where this was going. So, and I have to say, as a refresher course, I went this weekend and picked up this new Vision and Scarlet Witch Compendium. And man, you guys, like, it starts off. I don't know if it's in the 60s or 70s, but it is some heady stuff. Surprisingly, like, for a comic book, like Vision's entire questioning of his reality, because he's in the body of one guy and the brain waves of another guy and the partial brain waves of yet another guy, and his whole it is just pages of him what is it to be human in lots and lots of 50-cent words, and that's some heavy stuff.
Well, Wanda also brought out the House of M alternate reality too, for that, right, in the comics a while ago. And
what was that?
Well, Wanda created the House of M alternate universe in the comics, didn't she?
Yes, and that is clearly where they're going with this, at least in my opinion. It's that House of M storyline, which was, a really, really fantastic run of comics. House of M is an excellent, but there you are. Yeah, so I think it's I hope more people watch it, and I think now that they're sort of again, no spoilers, but now that they're kind of like doing this with it, I think it's gonna have more people.
It also doesn't help that it's coming off the heels of The Mandalorian, which was so good in terms of it being like you're good with one episode, and it's not contained, and it's telling a story, but it stands more on its own. And now a lot of the younger people that are growing up are like, wait, I have to wait a week to see where this develops, and it's like, well, it used to be that way for years before you existed. Instead of it all dropping at once. So people are still, adjusting to that. But I've heard rumblings of, oh, this is a thing that might happen, and here's all these references and whatever. And I just want more. And that comes as a symptom of the pandemic just halting everything. And I'm like, just give me more stuff. I want more of like everything. So like more Marvel, more whatever.
I can't wait for the Loki show. That's supposed to come out in the spring, right?
I mean, after Falcon and Winter Soldier, which technically that would start soon.
Is that next?
That is next.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're kind of almost gearing up for one show episode of a thing a week between Star Wars and Marvel.
Well,
cool.
I'm interested to see to what depths these other, at least like the Marvel shows go, because I was being an obsessive person, I had to go online and find out like every WandaVision, everything, what everybody was saying about it, what they thought about it.
Have you seen Flynn? Have you seen Screen Crush's like breakdown video of the episodes?
I haven't, but I did see the Nerdist did a breakdown of all the Easter eggs, and it was astonishing to me, the number.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I mean, and I'm talking about like super obscure stuff too. Like, and I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler, but like one of them in the second episode, it's the Bewitched episode, and they do that great animation at the very beginning where it's like Bewitched and they're flying through the air. They fly past the moon, and I'm just watching it. And then they're like, well, if you look at the moon, there are 6 stars around the moon that twinkle in order, and they're in the exact order, and those are supposed to represent the Infinity Stones. And I was like, wait, what? And then even deeper, like, I don't know, in the office scenes, they're like, oh yeah, well, Vision's boss, his office number is 156, and that refers to Avengers 156 comic book where this happened with Vision. I was like, man, somebody did some serious homework in making this show, and I think that's what's one of the really fascinating things about it. And I hope that any of the ones that come in the future, they also do that kind of homework and put that kind of stuff in there.
As far as I know, you're going to have to watch all of the Marvel shows along with the movies to get the plot and the string between all the MCU stuff. So they're putting as much attention and detail into the shows, which I have always been a fan of with like The Mandalorian and all that, because what Star Wars and Marvel fans both want is more high quality stuff consistently, and that's what you're getting. So why not? Mm-hmm. Why wait 4 months for a movie when you could have one little tidbit every single week that is 40 minutes of content or whatever,
Well, then and also too, in that format, you get less bloat, right? Mm-hmm. Like you just get less all that extra stuff because they have to distill it down into a smaller. And I don't know. I mean, as much as I liked, Endgame and that, it was, pretty really, really, really long. And I'm sure there are some ways that it could have been trimmed down here and there. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and they're all going to connect to each other. Loki or Doctor Strange or WandaVision, they're all going to be connected in some way. But the next Marvel movie, I think, is Shang-Chi in July.
I thought it was the
Eternals,
because they made Lego sets of it.
Not Eternals. Nope.
What?
Nope. Now David, you may say to me, well, Brian Saviano, why would Eternals not be next, even though in the Lego catalog there's images of the sets official? That's no rumors, no leaks, no kids on Instagram yapping in the back hallways of the high school. No, that's official catalog. But Let me look up the current Marvel movie release schedule, which is all tentative to change.
Yeah,
But
I think they still haven't even released Black Widow, which I think is stupid. I think they
I
should
think
do Disney
it's
Plus
the
for
most
that.
asinine how this movie has been done on a hard drive for 12 months.
It's so stupid.
It's literally like you can upload the file to Disney Plus tonight, ready to go.
Just like uploading a YouTube video. I mean, what's
Yeah.
so hard?
That, and apparently from what Jeff told me, Ghostbusters as well. They're literally done. Done. Locked in. Like,
Don't get me started on Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but isn't the reason they're not putting them out to theaters is because no one can go to theaters?
Well, yeah, but like HBO Max here in the US has simultaneously started doing like it goes in the theaters if your theater's open, and then you can watch it on the streaming service, which is what most people do because it's way cheaper and you can watch it at your home and not have to risk yourself.
okay, so this is the current slate for Marvel movies, which I think is a lie, and I think will change. So Black Widow, May 7th, 2021. Disney,
not
you
gonna
cowards, release it. Stop being cowardly. And I mean that kind of seriously too, because why wouldn't they just put it on Disney Plus and have faith in the movie enough that people would want to watch it and subscribe to it if they're not already subscribed? Like Mulan, don't pay like an extra $30 premium for that movie. No. For Black Widow, you could do something similar, maybe not as much. Disney, put it out on the platform. Trust that it's going to perform relatively well. Or if there's some other deal that you can't do it, then it's stupid. Shang-Chi is apparently July 9th. I think that's a lie too. November 5th for Eternals. And then December 17th for Spider-Man 3. So that's probably not going to happen. All those, but
Just kind of depends on the vaccine. But it's stupid that they won't release at least a few of those on streaming until things clear up.
Yeah.
they have HBO Max is releasing every single one of their movies, day and date, theaters, and streaming service. So you're getting King Kong versus Godzilla, day one. You got Wonder Woman 84, day one. They're setting a precedent, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's what everybody else should do.
raises kind of the question while we're here to pivot away from Marvel for a second. Who you got in the fight, King Kong or Godzilla?
Godzilla. No, King Kong. King Kong's gonna win.
Ooh.
I watched both Godzilla and King Kong movies. I didn't watch the second Godzilla movie though. Apparently, it wasn't good. So I don't know.
I've never seen any of them. Are they worth watching?
I like Joshua. I feel like you'd like King Kong.
You
I
think
feel like
so?
you'd like the new. I think you'd like the
Hold on.
newer one.
Yeah, have you seen the old like King Kong, or have you also not seen Kong Skull Island?
Not seen any of them.
All right.
All right, yeah, watch Skull Island.
You never watched the Peter Jackson one from like 2005?
Nope.
It's so
Oh,
long.
that's a good one.
It goes on for a century.
It does. That's another
It
one.
does.
Just like
It is a good. It's a good movie. Like
I
it's a
like-
fun popcorn movie.
It's
I
Peter
like long
Jackson's
movies.
style, though.
If they're done well. So, like, for instance, last night I just watched Lawrence of Arabia again, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. But that movie is just shy of 4 hours long.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It doesn't feel that long at all.
No, it doesn't. I love that movie, Joshua. So.
Isn't that movie just shy of 40 years old?
Honestly,
So Joshua, you'll like the Skull Island because it has the backdrop of Vietnam.
yeah,
So there's a little bit of history there. Yeah, check it out.
it's really cool.
Oh, was that
That's
the
a
movie
fun
they
movie.
shot in Vietnam? I remember. Oh, I remember when I was there a couple years ago in Vietnam. They somebody mentioned that was like the first movie they had shot there in several decades. Like
Yeah,
basically
maybe
ever
then.
since the war, because they hadn't had let people shoot movies there. So that is cool.
Well, the Peter Jackson one was definitely superior to the 70s version.
Yeah,
Oh, what
But-
Kong Lives or the one with Jeff Daniels was, and then the sequel to that was. Ugh.
Oh, no, there was the one that had Jessica Lange as the Fay Wray character.
Yeah.
So that was that's the 70s one I'm talking about. That one was pretty terrible.
Yeah, that's where he swung from the World Trade Buildings, right? Or you're like,
And then
yeah.
And then, of course, there's the original, which is pretty fantastic for many reasons, but it's a great one.
I'll add that above Ghostbusters on the list of movies to watch.
No, no, come on.
Wait, the original Ghostbusters?
He hasn't seen any of them.
Any of them.
Wow.
I just do that to upset Jeff.
Well, don't watch the newest one. It wasn't good.
Okay, so let me tell you the context in which I watched the newest one and I was okay with it. It was a very uneventful Halloween night. No one had any plans, and my pizza was in limbo of being delivered. It was 40 minutes late, and we decided we're going to watch this movie and see what happens. And so that was the context of which it was watched, and it worked out just fine. I wasn't there day one opening night of the movie, but it was all right.
So the story for Ghostbusters, the one that came out in 2016, was a good story. It was just implemented very poorly.
I just thought the jokes all fell flat.
That's what I implemented very poorly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
There was too much I can't think of the word. Like, there was too much explaining of who the characters were. Like, can't think of the word. But there was too much explaining of, like, who the characters were as opposed to the first Ghostbusters movie where they did all of that through acting and scenes. But, like, in the 2016 version, I felt that they were like, well, I am this character because I am saying I am this character.
Yeah, Jeff, exposition.
There it is. Thank you.
Jeff.
Oh, my God. Yeah. There's too much exposition in the 2016 movie. But, I mean, like, I'm going to put on my old man pants here. Movies back in the 80s were just written better.
Sorry.
Like, they were just...
That went really good. Well, I'm going to be an old man here. The 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The 80s for me was when I grew up, so whatever. But, like, the movies are just better written. There wasn't so much exposition of everything, and it just... I don't know.
No, but audiences, they gotta have it spoon-fed, right? Not spoon-fed, but I
think there's a lot of nostalgia there too, Jeff. I think there were a lot of horrendous movies made in the 80s as well.
Oh, no, you're absolutely
Those
right.
were.
Remember those.
No, there was a lot of bad movies in the 80s. Oh, absolutely.
what's the worst victim of a pop culture classic movie that has aged poorly?
Oh, there's so many.
So I'll say I don't find what's his name from the Goonies, the main sloth, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't get it. I'm not like, I don't know. I don't get Goonies. And I thought Gremlins was just like whatever.
Sure. Well, I mean, so okay. I think and I think it's hard to look back on movies like that with a clear lens, only because at the time that they came out, there was something that was special about them that wasn't like anything that had gone before it. So like Gremlins, like that was like scary, like kind of cute puppets. Like that wasn't something that we'd seen before. And we hadn't seen a sort of more seemingly kids aimed Christmas themed movie that was scary. Like there was no Nightmare Before Christmas, hadn't happened. That wasn't a thing yet. So I think sometimes when movies that are revered from a certain time period are revered because at the time there was something about them that was different. And now we look back and we've seen so many iterations of those things done over and over and over again based on that original thing, right? That we I think it's hard to appreciate them for what they were appreciated for back in the day.
I noticed that a lot whenever I do watch an older movie from like the 80s or earlier. I watch, and especially if it's one that I've heard people talk about my whole life and has like really been pumped out as this amazing movie. I watch it and I'm like, yeah, that was fine, that was good, but I don't really get all the hype. But I think it's for that exact reason, because it was so influential. Those things that were so great about that movie have been done in other movies, and so nowadays I'm more familiar with maybe some of those ideas, the jokes, whatever it might be. And so it's not as impressive watching it now. But when that movie first came out, it would have been much more impressive.
Yeah.
Well, I think like, and then this is going way back in the Wayback Machine, but I think, you know, you look at something like The Wizard of Oz, which has lots of really cool things about it. But like at the time when it came out, like going from black and white to suddenly being in color, like that was a huge deal. And that had a huge amount of effect on on how that movie was perceived in a way that it's, you know, not so much anymore. But I think that's like a prime example to go back really super far.
Yeah,
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I think in the film world, I feel like today, where a lot of things are actually being pushed forward, is in the premium TV segment, like Game of Thrones, Mandalorian, even this WandaVision show. It's showing like premium television is kind of where people are pushing new ideas and new ways of doing things, and kind of like bringing something new to the screen that a lot of blockbuster movies in the last couple of years have kind of just fallen behind and trying to do that.
Yeah.
It also gives them more time to adjust.
The way that sets are done. I mean, the big screens that they use and everything else, like that's out of this world amazing as far as I'm concerned, because that's just cool. Like, and it looks so good on screen, and you know, other companies are picking up on that. They're going to start doing that, and the more innovativeness we get through film, the better. I say for film, and just, you know, for ourselves too, as a, you know, humanity.
Well, you know, one of the things that I love about 80s movies is that it was at the time, like in late 70s, early 80s, where people would just blatantly rip off other movies and like no one would say anything. So like if you like when you get to like especially like Star Wars, when it very first came out, the number of like blatant Star Wars ripoffs or like slight tweaks to the Star Wars formula that happened, it was awe-inspiring. There's some, like, watch Star Crash sometime if you want to see a really terrible piece of Star Wars ripoffs. Star Crash is the movie for you. But yeah, and they don't do you don't see that so much anymore, but that's one of the things that's great about those. You can just find endless iterations of sometimes movies that were already terrible, and they just kind of kept going with the theme.
Yeah. Did you see Star Wars when it came out in theaters? Because everyone I've ever heard talk to about that said it was just like one of the most mind-blowing things ever. And I think it's kind of what, going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's hard to capture that today. I think that experience, the people had seen that for the first time when it first came out.
I am that old. I was there. I was visiting my dad and my stepmom in Florida, and my two brothers were there, and we had a dollar movie theater in our town, and it was a small town in Florida, and you could go in and literally pay $1 and you could stay all day and just go from movie theater to movie theater and like watch whatever. And Star Wars came out, and I think my dad took, I think like 7 times that summer we went back and watched Star Wars, and a couple of times like watched Star Wars, went and watched another movie, and then came back and watched Star Wars again, like a couple times in a day. And it really was, you like never seen anything like that. And just in terms of design, and you know, we all know that, like, you know, Star Wars kind of coined the term greebling, right? Like that's where that came from, and having the guts on the outside. And you know, like before that, everything that was future, and you know, you're looking at things like Buck Rogers and things like 50s sci-fi movies where everything was very sleek and slick and sharp lines and smooth and clean. And then we got Star Wars with all the like exhaust pipes and, you know, things falling off and burn marks on it. And you just hadn't seen anything like that before. And also the scale. Like, I just remember that first shot of like the Star Destroyer like coming into view. We were all just like, you know, they made, I hadn't seen scale like that in a science fiction movie before, made to look like that. So
That is super cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
The first movie I ever remember seeing in a theater was Empire Strikes Back. So I'm not quite into similar age, but yeah, Empire Strikes Back, and it was the same thing. You know, it's left a lasting impression on me. And yeah, I used to watch Star Wars: A New Hope every weekend when I was, I don't know, probably from about 7 or 8 right through to 15, 16. I used to watch that movie every single weekend on a videotape.
Right. Well, I think, it's another thing I think about what hit us about it back then was so many movies up till then, when you came into the movie having your hero already be the hero. Right, like your hero was already the invincible, awesome, guy who was going to come in and save everything. And in this one, we actually got to see our heroes become heroes, and that was not
the hero's journey. That's what they call it in the film world.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. I took a college class, my senior year of college, of literally an entire semester of just going through, I want to say it was about 15 films from the 1950s to the 70s of what inspired George Lucas for the original Star Wars film. And it's a crazy amount of films, actually, that kind of conglomerated into what you got as Star Wars. It's kind of hilarious how many like Kurosawa movies and stuff like that really made Star Wars what it is then.
I love how the class wasn't even on Star Wars movies. It was the movies that inspired Star Wars.
I know, and you didn't watch. What's funny is you didn't get to watch Star Wars until the last class of that semester. It was hilarious. Everybody was like, "Wait, we're taking a Star Wars class. And we're not going to watch Star Wars until the end."
Well, but I think that's important, actually.
It actually worked out to be very cool.
Well, and then it just goes back to what we were just talking about, that level of like appreciating something for its roots, like what are the things that inspired this, because everything's been done, and it's how you reinterpret that and how you choose to filter that through your lens, as it were. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So, and I think it's important to know where those things came from. It's like I'm always laughing, especially like being my age, I always have to laugh when I go onto like Twitter or social media and people are like freaking out over like the biggest new song. And I was like, that's a cover from like the 60s. Or and like, this isn't a new thing. They're like, oh, I had no idea. Yeah. It's so I think it's good to know to know where things came from.
Fun fact, that's how I knew I wasn't cut out for film school, because I was like, oh, I want to make movies. Oh, you got to watch all like the 100 most important movies and care about that. And I'm like, I don't care. I can't be bothered to care. That's how I knew. So I saved like 6 figures. So
you did save money. That's for
fair.
Sure. That right now.
Well, now I understand it, and that's a whole other thing. But in that moment, coming right out of high school, I'm like, I just want to make cool stuff. So that's why I'm on Beyond the Brick now. It all worked out. See?
There you go. You didn't pay for film school.
No, not at all. Sorry, Dan. I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just going to say, and with agreement to Flynn, it's like you're not only just getting covers now, you're getting covers of covers. It's like 3rd and 4th generation covers of songs. Yes. It's like, what the heck? It's like my kids are listening to covers of the covers that I listen to. Right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, hasn't nobody brought it up today? Has anybody gotten the chance to listen to the Lego White Noise playlist that came out?
Why would I listen to that when I can just put my Mario ASMR on a loop, man?
Yes, I really wanted to comment on like the Lego Facebook post and be like, I think this has already been done far better, and just like that.
I have to say though, it's pretty good. If you have, I think it's on Apple Music and Spotify right now. You have the time, you have those subscriptions. It's worth a listen. Specifically, I forget what it's called. It's like Wild in the Wind. I think it's like the 5th song. It's the sound of trees made out of Lego bricks, and it sounds so cool, and I love it. And I was like, I could listen to this for a while. Like it's actually pretty peaceful and pretty good. Actually.
Interesting, yeah.
It's worth a listen for at least 5 minutes between the songs to at least see if you're remotely interested in it. I thought it was pretty cool.
I just want to ask why.
Why not?
Why?
You know, Dan, there's a whole section of ASMR on the internet, and then Lego is like, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try it. This is for the adults who need to unwind after a long day of taking their kids to soccer practice.
You know what? It's got to be for the adults that don't use Lego like 9 or 10 hours a day like some of us do, because that sound of bricks falling is just horrific.
The best way I can actually like kind of explain why I think it's a pretty good like thing to put in the background is it's like when you're in the shower, that sound of like constant noise can help you think or maybe open up a thought that you need to like think about or something like that. And so I feel like that's kind of where that type of ASMR background sound comes into play, is like you're trying to recreate that like shower-esque of thinking.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like noise machines and stuff like that.
I use a lot of white noise stuff in the background sometimes because I have ringing in my ears, tinnitus, right? And it helps to dull the tinnitus.
So right now, like if I were just listening to you guys, I'd probably go insane. Not because it's you guys, but because a similar thing. So right now, I have the window open, which is not really a lot of noise. I have my fan on, not even pointed at me, and I have lo-fi hip-hop music in the background just to always have something.
Wow.
I can't be alone with my thoughts, because then I'll start thinking about like how much I need to get rid of a lot of my leg. And it's a whole thing. No, but I have tinnitus in this ear too, and I think it's caused in part by stress, because at some points it goes away and it's mitigated, but I always have noise or something. And my mom will like do her work or something, like if I wake up in the morning, like she'll be in absolute silence in the whole house, and I'm like, I can't take it. I need something. I can't.
Yeah.
We listen to music. I mean, like that's our thing. Like we listen to music when we're building, like it's our big soundtrack, and then I always have to have something going in the background, usually a movie or something, just like, it's my version of white noise, right? Like just maybe a movie I've seen 1,000 times and I can just do the dialogue in my head and I just like to listen to it. But I will say that that was one of the more difficult things for me on Lego Masters, was that we had no access to music at all.
Really? No access. You couldn't put like anything?
No, it was complete silence, just the noise of the room, like the noise of 20 people sweating and stressing out, and the clackety clack of bricks and people running back and forth to the brick pit. It was really, if I had to say, like, one of the people are like, what was the hardest thing? That was one of the hardest things for me, was building without any background noise, because you really are like you are literally left alone with your own thoughts. And, in that situation, all you're thinking about is the next brick you're going to put down. But it was still, I found it extremely difficult to focus and concentrate without that little bit of background.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then as I was watching Lego Masters, I watched like 7 episodes in one night, and because of all the music and the cuts and the colors, I'm like, I have a headache. I gotta stop.
Well, see, and we didn't have any of that. Like,
Right,
we had the color thing, though. Oh man, when they would do that 1 minute thing and they like blast
all the lights
a
go off,
siren,
red.
and they would turn red, and you're like sweating, like desperately trying to put on. And we think a lot about color in our pieces, and when that red light went on, it basically turns everything brown. And so we're like, and you're in that last, and you're like trying to like, oh man, I've still got these 25 bricks to put on, and not much time. And then it would be that like sound, and then and then the lights would go red, and it really just it was super stressful.
I would hate that if the only sound I heard for hours on end was like 1 minute remaining and Will Arnett. Like,
I think I don't. It's funny, like we don't talk much about our time on the show anymore, but that was, I think, because there were a lot of when we got done doing a show, there was a lot of people that were like, "Oh, I could have done that better. I could have done this.
Yeah.
I could have."
Oh, yeah,
blah,
sure.
blah, blah. And I really, really don't think people understand the stress and pressure there is when there's cameras wheeling around you. You've always got like, 4 to 5 people paying attention to you at any one time, and you're
I
also
kind of know what you're talking about. The closest thing I can come to, and maybe some people out there also did this, is Lego's first Lego League, their robotics competition. If you did that, there was a point in the competition where you had like a live audience and you had to build Lego and you had to test the robotics and stuff with all that pressure on you. So I kind of have an idea of what you're talking about.
Well, and then at the same time, you're remembering that, even though it's not right in front of you, that camera that's about 90 yards away is actually like close up right on your face, and that you have a microphone on that is on all the time, like all the time. And it was stressful, super stressful.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I could not have done it better than you. So good job.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Me either.
Yeah.
You just have to ignore the armchair critics. It's easy for people to sit back and think about it for 3 months and then say, yeah, I could have done better than that. It's like, yeah, if I had 3 months to think about it, maybe I could have too.
Look, all I know,
Yeah, well,
I was moved when Richard and Flynn had their little problem with one of their builds. And I'm not saying this to be a jerk or anything, but the compassion and the understanding and the just being there for one another as a couple, that really got to me, and that made me believe that you two were just good people. That's why I sought you all out after the show and everything, compliment, blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. But that right there, I didn't care about the builds at that point anymore. That was really probably one of the most beautiful things I've seen on television.
oh, that's very kind. Thank you. That
Yeah.
was well, that, and the other thing too, like when that stuff is happening, 'cause I'm prone to panic attacks and anxiety, and that is actually what happened at that point. You didn't really, you kind of saw the end of what happened, but I did have a bit of a panic attack, and I don't know, it was tough because they that build in particular was very, very difficult. Building something that's meant to break apart, like knowing that you have to make something that's going to explode. And what you didn't see leading up to that point was that we had redone that already a couple of times. So we had started out with a process that we thought was really great and was going to look really good. And about, I don't know, like halfway through realized it wasn't going to work. And that's fine if you're at home and you can walk away from it like that. But when you're in that situation, it was either continue going with this idea that's not working or completely redo it. So we completely redid it, like we made it really tall, and they came along and said, I don't know, that looks really tall. Remember that it's going to get hit with a thing, and you probably don't want to do that. So we're like, okay, so we took a whole level of it off. And then we were working on it, and then and again we kind of got the same thing, and so like we had to take like another level off, and then they came back and said, oh, we think maybe you misunderstood us. And at that point I was like, I can't anymore. I can't take like something in my brain just went like, I'm sure you could see the smoke coming out of my ears, and I that was kind of the end of it for me. And so it was a tough road to come back, to come back from.
Yeah, I mean, so like, not to make it into a symbol for whatever else, right? Like, I don't want to do that because that's not what it's about. But that story you just told, like, every Lego content creator, every Lego builder I know, we all have something upstairs that we're struggling with and that we're fighting against constantly. And like that right there is an example of how it's okay to be not okay. Because I have the same thing. I have depression. I have PTSD. I have all these crazy things because of my life. And like a lot of people put that stigma that there's something wrong, there's something this or that. But like, this is why we Lego, so we can cope with all of that crap, so that we can put it to the side for that half hour or whatever. And that's just beautiful, man. So
Well, I think I mean I know that when and you also don't know how you're going to affect people. Like I was really like when that episode was going to come out, like my stomach was in knots. I was like, how are they going to present this? How much are they going to show or not show? Like what's going to happen? And they showed what they showed, and it turned out to be all right. And I just remember being at Bricks Cascade, and this woman came up to me and she said, "I just wanted to thank you so much because we were watching the show and I could tell you were having a panic attack because people who have panic attacks, I'm sure, could tell that's what was happening with me." And they were like, my son has panic attacks, and he saw that on the show and saw that it was okay, and that you moved on, that you can have your moment and then move on from it, and it really helped him with that. And thank you. And I was so glad. I mean, because in the moment it was horrific, but knowing that it in the end like created a way for somebody else to feel okay about it, like that made it worth. That's worth it to me. So
I remember watching that segment too, and I didn't know if it was because I had watched, like, I never watched it in the beginning, but then I had watched the show after, like, being in your guys' streams and like knowing a bit more about who you are, and I got emotional too, and I'm like, is it because I know of these guys? Like, what? Why am I? But like, it's like what Jeff said, exactly, same thing,
Well, and I think no matter, even if people want to admit it or not, we've all been in that place at one point or another, right? Like whether it's with Lego or life or whatever, we've all been there, and there's a level of vulnerability that people don't usually see, with other people.
Yeah.
And I think that it, so even though I was really nervous about it, like I said, like in the end, I'm glad it made it to where, it made it on the show and people were able to take something away from that. So
exactly.
Well, I'm putting the final pieces on the build here, so I successfully completed it.
There we go.
Oh, very good.
Finally. Took you long enough, Joshua.
This is why I'm not trying out for Lego Masters Season 6.
I mean, it's so open.
It's a great build. That's
Here's the other section. I love this little like gazebo type of section here with the blue bananas sticking out. It's very
Oh, nice.
Let's see if I can put it together now.
Well, that pagoda roof is absolutely stunning, but I did find it to be just a little tenuous. The clips don't stick on there too well, and you literally just have to touch them and they will fall off. But it achieves it very, very well.
There's the whole thing together.
Good. I want those koi tiles. They look so
those
lovely.
are super cool. The mini figures in these sets are also always fantastic. Same with the other Lunar New Year set. Here, there's just tons of minifigures, and the like printing and designs are always super cool on them. Hard to see there, but that's definitely one of the highlights. There's a little light brick in here in the bowl.
Oh, nice.
It's a bit of a shame they didn't put those koi tiles into Ninjago City Gardens.
I thought they were too, but they didn't.
No.
Yeah. There's plenty of water in Ninjago City Gardens. There was a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I would love to see more creative use of the light brick. I have to say, like the two most creative uses for it I've seen were as a gobo in the Stranger Things set. Sorry, that a gobo is in theater is where you take a something that you put over a light that has designs cut out in it, and then we'll throw that onto the stage. So like tree leaves, or like the shades of a window in a film noir, or one of those things. Was that, and then the shadow show in the Temple of Air Jitsu, the Ninjago, like in the lower floor, there was like a for all intents and purposes a shadow puppet play that happened down there using a light brick, and I would sure love to see them use more make more creative use of those bricks like that. Because
I remember when I built that set, that was like one of the coolest things I'd ever seen in a set, the Ninjago set you're talking about. And that set just had a lot of really neat stuff in it. I thought it was super cool. I think, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like the precursor to Ninjago City, and those things improved a lot on it. But that temple set was neat in its own right.
Yeah, that was I think that was one of the very first large sets that we ever purchased, was that one. And it was I remember we had it was winter, like the dead of winter, and our bedroom started leaking rain inside, and they basically kicked us out of our apartment for a month while they fixed everything. And we had to go stay in an Airbnb, like some little tiny apartment. And I had my dog at the time. She was like beyond ancient, and it was like pouring down every day. And I remember we bought that set, and that was like my one like nice thing that happened while we were in that, because that was a really terrible time. And like carrying, because we live on the ground floor, and we had to stay in a 3-story, like at the top of 3 stories and stairs. So like I carried my ancient dog like up and down the stairs every day in the pouring rain to walk her, and then I would just like come back and like kind of dive into that set. And it was that was like a do you ever remember that? Do you ever have like sets that like mean something to you because they came at a particular point in time when you were feeling like either really bad and it made you feel better, or really good and it just kind of added to it? I think that's I don't know. I find that fascinating, because there are some sets that you just kind of put together and it's like, oh yeah, I built that set. But then there's those ones that were like meaningful to you in some way, and
that NES got a reaction out of me like that when I built it, and when it was all done, I'm like, this is something I never would have thought happened. This is crazy. And the fact that it's one of those sets that people say is one of their favorites of all time, I'm like, good. People like it too. It's not just my nostalgia, my bias.
Well, I gotta head off, guys. It was awesome being on here. Good talking to everybody.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining, man. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
See you, David.
See ya.
So this set right here was that for me. Every year on my birthday, I get low, super low. And when I got this in the mail, and it was from who gave it to me, I was floored for so much. And we did the reaction video because we wanted to, because it was fun. But like afterwards, I cried just so happily for this. I know it's stupid, it's plastic, it's whatever, but like I never thought that I would own this set. Like I built my own mock of it, but this set in particular, I thought I would never own it. And it was, I'm always fighting depression. I always am. And having this just made that go away for the rest of the day. And then when Brian was nice enough to just join me and build it, that's probably one of the happiest days of my life recently. So thank you.
You're welcome. I like doing things for people when I know that they really want them. So I don't normally just like, I hate giving gifts for the sake of giving gifts, but if I know someone really wants something and I'm like, ooh, I have the perfect thing, and then there it is.
That's how I felt when Lego first announced the Mario sets, and I submitted your address to get them, Brian.
Yeah, and you knew what was about to unfold. You knew. It's game over.
I think the other thing, Jeff, and I'm pretty sure people have probably told you this before, but just know that you're not alone in your journey. I started streaming because of PTSD. I had a massive breakdown into 2018, had to give up work and everything, and it came on all of a sudden too. Mm-hmm. And I didn't leave my house for 3 months, and I needed a way to communicate with my friends. And so I just hit go live on Facebook one day, and I was in my Lego room and I was just tapping away, building some Lego bricks and stuff, building some Lego sets and things. And people jumped on and we talked, and then I decided I'd do it again. And it just evolved from there, I still haven't managed to get back to work yet. I've only just been declared fit for part-time work. Non-confrontational. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I worked my whole life in frontline healthcare and ambulance service, military, and I suffer a lot of anxiety, depression now, more so than I ever have before. And I'd never had panic attacks until probably a year ago. And funnily enough, I had one in the car the other day when I was driving. First time my wife has ever seen me have a full-blown anxiety attack. I had to stop the car. Couldn't see where I was going. But, we've been married 21 years. She's never seen me have an anxiety attack until 2 weeks ago. So You're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah,
Many of us are on this journey, man. And everyone's journey is different, and everyone's journey is valid. So if you ever want to chat or anything off stream or whatever,
absolutely
hit me up.
Good message. So I know this is kind of a weird stream where it's gone there. One of my big triggers is going into a building first. I was a corrections officer. I saw a lot of bad things. I can't go into a building first anymore. Emily has to walk in front of me, and it's really weird. I don't know how people do it, and I'm just trying my best. And every day it's a struggle, and it's stupid. So yeah.
I have to sit with my back to a wall if in a public place. I can never sit in the middle table in a cafe or a restaurant. And if there's not a seat facing the back of a wall, I just won't sit. I'm getting better at it now, but this is these silly little things. Anyway, sorry, we don't really want to bring the stream. I don't know if we consider this. To be fair, I talk about it because I think it's better to talk about it. It's better to actually let people know that, this is normal. This is normal for me. Okay, it might not be normal for everybody else, but this is my normal, and this is how I have to deal with my life, because this is my normal to have these things go on in it. And if people don't want to talk to me or hang around because of it, then that's fine. I don't need them.
Well, I mean, think about how many people just have been building Lego to cope over the last 9 months.
Yeah.
Like, and even if they don't necessarily suffer from depression or anxiety or panic attacks, like that's still, they are using Lego as a coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
I hope that people understand that, like, it's not just, people who are this certain way are prone to panic attacks or whatever. It's like we all do things to cope.
Yeah. There's been several good articles on using Lego as a therapy and as a coping mechanism by adults with high anxiety, high stress recently. So it's good.
Yeah.
It is good.
Make sure you can see the door. I know how that goes, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the, and at least this is what it does for me when putting together Lego, not under pressure in a TV studio with a time clock going, is I can pour all of my focus and all of my, I can kind of channel that anxiety into art, right? Like I can go, okay, I'm gonna, instead of thinking about this thing, I'm gonna sit down and like, what kind of tree am I gonna design today? Like, what kind of building am I gonna design today? And just try to recycle the all that anxiety into something that will move me forward rather than keep me either treading water or moving backwards.
Yeah.
Studio Brickton was asking, hey everyone, how's the stream going? We went from financial advice to mental health over the course of 2 hours and 17 minutes, and it's been a wild ride the entire time. Good ride.
It's very true. I saw some comments from April being there, and I reminded me earlier, I never got to reference, I think she said earlier when Dan, you were talking about the blacksmith. Did she say she drove 6 hours somewhere to buy that set?
Yeah, so April lives in Kansas, and she drove down to OKC to get it, and it's like a 3-hour one-way trip or something.
Amongst the corn.
Yeah.
Oh man, I could have met April B.
Yeah.
I live in OKC.
Oh, dear. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to organize a meetup at the OKC Lego store at some point.
Oh, I might have to go to Texas. Ben, who does Ben's bricks designs, lives in Texas, and he and I are becoming buddies. And if conventions ever happen again, that'll be it. Just go hang out with Ben and maybe April and do all the things and yada shmada. I don't know. Anyway.
Jeff will be happy to greet you with a shotgun and sell you some Lego if you show up in his house.
Yeah. And his boxer shorts.
There you go, Joshua. Just bringing it back around.
If you all
Nicely done.
public figures now,
Oh my goodness.
nobody messes with Jeff when he gets the scary face on.
That's why he's a mod in my channel. The eject button on everyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speak out of
Yeah.
turn, you out of here.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I'm not afraid to toss a 10-year-old across the convention floor.
You keep saying that, and I just get concerned every time I.
No, it's fine. It's a part of our agreement. It's all
It's all good.
It's all part of the contract.
Remember, $10 to talk to him, $20 for the selfie.
Always got to charge more for the photo.
of course.
Oh man. If we would have charged for photos at Bricks Cascade, we would have that wouldn't have to ever work again.
It's insane. You go to like Comic Cons, the prices some of those people charge are just like absolutely like mind blowing. Then you look at the
I know.
like that's so crazy.
Well, I went to Dragon Con in Atlanta. Now this is oh my gosh, like 20 years ago now, or more maybe. And I went around, and yeah, they were at that point charging $25 for a photo and an autograph. I can only imagine what it is now. Oh my goodness.
100 depending on the person.
Yep.
That's oh my goodness, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
The first time I met Brian at Brick Fair was in line to pay $100 to get a photo with him.
And you know what? He wasn't the only one. He was in the line.
Didn't you interview your way to the front of the line, Josh? That's what you should have done. Oh, so you guys all waiting here for the internet sensation, Brian Saviano. Oh, yes, I am. Yeah. Oh, and what do you like about Brian Saviano? Oh, I love him. He's so great. Move to the next one up. Oh, yes, isn't Brian Saviano so wonderful? Yes, he's the internet sensation. Oh, look, I'm at the front of the line. Hey, Brian, while we're here.
And that's how I snuck in and didn't have to pay. It was everything.
No, this upcoming Brick Fair, there's going to be a line of moms and whoever else, man. It's going to be great.
Wow, I'm going to use that now. I'm going to make a fake microphone, and I'm just going to get into everywhere.
Mate, it's the best way to do it. Yeah.
It's foolproof. You walk around with a camera and a mic, and you just get in anywhere.
And a clipboard. Carry around a clipboard. That too. That helps.
Yeah, it's so much easier than having to carry a big ladder and wear a high vision vest. It's the camera microphone works just as well.
That's a fun game that John and I play at Comic-Con San Diego every year of like who can we convince that because we're media like to let us cut this massive line to get into a panel or something. It doesn't normally work, but there have been a few times where you got into something just because we had like our badge said media or whatever, because they aren't supposed to let you do that anywhere, but sometimes you can convince them too.
Man, I gotta say, I don't know how y'all do it, because I went to Comic-Con a couple of times. Again, we're talking like 15, 20 years ago, and it was already more than I could handle. Like, talk about panic attack mode. Like, there were people like wall to wall, just the never ending crush of people. And it was, I found it, even then, stressful. So man, more power to you. That's amazing that you guys do that so much, because shoot, it's exhausting.
No, it definitely can be. Yeah, it always helps to just like go back to the room and just like chill out for a while, either like breaks during the day and then at the end of the day for a while as well. That's we usually do a lot of stuff like that, where we just kind of get away from everything and take some breaks is always helpful.
Well, I think we may have touched on this on the 24-hour cast, but I went to the Tokyo Game Show and covered it for Kotaku back in the day, and it puts like Comic-Con to shame as far as like the crush of the crowd and the absolute like never ending just gosh, I don't know what like just video, music, sound, people, like just is like a constant like crush from all sides, and it was intense and really cool, but really, really intense.
Yeah, some of those
I
shows
love
are
it.
crazy.
Like a 4-day period, I'm all about it. Like if I have a good crew with me, then it's game over. I live and breathe it, but only 4 days at a time. And then
Like,
See,
what is the big? Is it PAX East? Is that the big show that you normally go to, Brian? That's really massive.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
imagine
see, like,
that's pretty insane.
if I was with a group of people, a crew of people doing something, that would be different. But like, I was there as part of a team, yes, but I was there as like a single reporter, right? So it was just me going around, doing stuff by myself, and it just got to be really overwhelming.
yeah, oh yeah.
So here's me weaseling myself into the crew more. Joshua and Timmy, when you go to a convention, you're gonna need somebody with a red T-shirt that just says "The Brick," and that way, when people come up to you, you can be like, "What are you? What's it say I am? If you want to get beyond me, hey!"
Wow, I'm glad you put so much thought into this.
Took like 3 minutes.
You want to get beyond? I just want to see you do that. So.
Okay.
And then,
Right,
some little kid just runs away crying, and then we get some really long email about how awful we are.
I'll respond to that one.
Well, I gotta go, y'all. It was awesome hanging out. Had a lot of fun today. So I will see y'all next time.
Sure. See you,
Thanks for
Flynn.
stopping by,
Take
Flynn.
care, Flynn.
All right, take care.
Hey, man.
Vision has been in the chat, but I guess it's too much of a coward to join the stream itself, right, Brian?
Vision is very busy working on his Marvel mocks. He's busy filing taxes and,
He's
swiping
doing
on Bumble.
Doing
Bill-
serious adult activities since he's
Yes.
so old now.
Yes, he is. I can't blame him, man. You know?
He's probably looking at Hasbro's website to see what Marvel Legends he's going to buy next, because I threw him down that rabbit hole and didn't look back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Dan, what time is it there now? It's still like morning your time, right?
Dan.
For me, sorry. No, sorry. Just
No, you're good.
organized. Hang on. You heard it here first. No, actually, no, I can't share that information.
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
World premiere.
No, it's all good. You'll find out. It's 9:27 a.m. for me. Nearly 9:50.
Dan's like, oh no, you'll find out, and then you just see the entire backdrop of Dan's just like collapse behind him, and he's in the Lego vault in Denmark, and it's like, I've been here all the time, everybody. Wah! We're gonna go on a tour.
No, unfortunately, no. Still stuck down on the bottom of the planet.
Oh, that'd be great.
Is a trip to, have you been to Billund before, Dan?
No, I was planning on going in 2019, and there was going to be a group of us that were going to go from New Zealand. We were planning on going to Scareback Fan Weekend and Lego House and all of that good stuff. And then, like I said, end of 2018, beginning of 2019 was when I had my PTSD breakdown, which happened quite suddenly. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, it just happened quite suddenly. I had to stop working, and so that kiboshed 2019's plans. The rest of the crew still went in 2019, which was really cool. So I got to live vicariously through them. So it's still on the to-do list one day.
There you go. It's worth it. It's very cool. So you'll enjoy it.
Oh,
Dan,
absolutely.
Here's what we need to do, Dan. You, me, and Brian, under the guise of Beyond the Brick, we need to go to Denmark, and then we'll call it the Tons of Fun Crew. And then we'll go on the tour, and Carl's already promised me adult beverage night. So we hang out with Carl and Mike.
Carl says a lot of things.
Raid their hard drive, steal secrets, and then report back to Beyond the Brick.
You don't want to hang out with Carl and Mike. They're no fun. They're
I
just
want to
super
hang out
boring.
with Mike so bad, you have no idea.
How are you guys doing? Hey there.
Hello.
I wish I would have joined way sooner, but I've been busy like most of the day, like Brian said. So I couldn't join at 1 like I normally do, unfortunately.
We understand. You
Yeah.
got things to do.
Yeah. I was in the middle of making my lunch, and then I peeked over at the screen, and I was like, oh, Kirk, yeah, Kirk's too busy to join. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just make a quick appearance before I go to finish my food.
Thank
How are you guys
You're
doing?
eating lunch very late in the day, so thank you for.
Yeah, I didn't have time to eat lunch earlier. I was out doing a bit of yard work, and so that kind of took up most of that. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and actually eat now before that doesn't turn out good.
Kirk, did it take you 2 hours to make your sandwich?
No, it didn't. I'm actually making quesadillas.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So what have you guys been talking about? Because I've kind of been like in and out of the stream.
We have run the gamut on
Everything.
the stream. It's been good.
Gotcha.
It's been a lot of good. We heard about Jeff's massive buyout in the stock market,
Oh,
and it just went
that's
from
interesting.
there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I got rover parts assembled. So I decided I was going to be working on the rover mock.
Mhm.
So for me, when I build, I have to do minifigures first because the minifigures define the build. So this is going to be the quirky mechanic that's on the rover that hangs out and does mechanic-y things for rovers. This is going to be the security guy. So when I think rover, I think like big, massive moving vehicle. So this is going to be like the hardened security dude that, is because he's got a fake leg. He's got a robo leg. So,
And a fake eye, right?
Yeah, he's got a little eyepiece there.
Little something on his eye.
Yeah, he's a little cyborgy. This is their infamous leader, mostly because I got to use the black sleeves with yellow arms from the hacker girl, and then throw it on one of my favorite torsos. So he's the leader of the crew, as it were. So
It's a cool torso. You got the little space logo on there.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Fazoom. It looks like Chris in his younger years.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got the quirky adventurer science girl, because that's always needed on these scientific things. I used that's an Arctic top, but I like the little computer on the side there. And these are the skater girls' knee pads, because it makes sense, if you're out adventuring and doing stuff, you got to have some protection.
The knee pads are gonna save you.
Yeah. And this is the pilot of the rover itself. Like, his job is just to drive. I threw in some Space Police 3 legs, Unitron torso, just generic black arms and gray gloves. And the head I used is from the Spy from the CMF series. So this way he looks super professional. And the helmet came from CMF stuff as well. So yeah, these are looking good so far for the crew that I have in mind. I've got a bunch of accessories sitting here for when more things will happen, so they can have different outfits and such like that. Because when I think of like what I want to build, it's kind of like an old 80s toy, or like an old Starcom toy, where it came with a bunch of cool, just little side adventures and stuff. So like, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a project, and I'll work on it here on Tuesdays. And when it actually gets to building rather than making minifigures, it might be more exciting. I don't know.
Sounds good. Thanks for sharing. Those minifigures look great. I think that's a good start.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Vision approves. You
Yeah,
could have
definitely.
2 hours on each minifig.
Yeah, I get that whole process, because that's kind of how I am whenever I work on a mock. It's like start with the figures first, because those kind of help to tell the story, especially if it's like an action sequence or something like that. So I get it. I definitely do.
And I gotta make something to go with this guy.
Mhm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I really like the look of him. It's a Space Police 3 torso with the one of the space military guys' vests, and then just kind of dressed up the back a little bit and made it all futuristic and sciencey. I don't know. Yeah, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I don't know. And it goes with this. Sorry, it goes with this old mock that I've been retooling and redesigning. And yes, there's a big bright yellow console, but it's also the Aquazone console, because I really like those consoles. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Gotcha.
Well, with that build show off, I think it's going to end the stream for us today. So we got more to look forward to from Jeff. Dan, do you have any projects you're working on and you want to tell the people about out there?
To be honest, no, I'm actually just I don't have very much on anything at the moment, except I'm just trying to tidy up my space. It's been such a busy December, January that just trying to break sets down, get them away, make room for new stuff that's coming, and yeah, pretty much just trying to get back into the swing of things. Oh, actually, a couple of things that are coming up, I suppose. We have a brick show here in Wellington next month, which is pretty exciting. May have a special guest at that show as well. So yeah, there's some stuff on the horizon, but it's still in the planning phase.
That sounds good. I'm glad you guys can have shows there. That's great. We're still waiting for that day here, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
One day, hopefully by the end of the year.
Hopefully.
Look, we are in a very, very fortunate position, and if things stay the way they are down here in New Zealand, we will, I would say most lugs will still organise and run shows this year. So very fortunate indeed.
There's one final question from Hunter here, wondering what I liked most about building the Chinese Spring Lantern Festival. I think of everything, like the minifigures are probably my favorite. I mentioned those earlier. They're super kind of cool designs. Each one is different and unique in its own way. So that was really cool. And then just the fact that it's kind of like a garden type of feel, which I don't feel like you get a lot of Lego builds that do that type of build. So I think it's pretty cool. You've got like the bamboo type of builds, and then the light brick and the I think it's an ox actually. I think I said bull earlier, but I think it's an ox. So there are definitely I think these Lunar New Year sets kind of never disappoint. You can never go wrong picking those up. So definitely recommend it.
Awesome.
Vision, anything to share with folks before we head out?
Nope, not at the moment. I was going to join earlier, and I was actually just going to be working on taking apart the Hall of Armor because I finished that. The video is out on the channel at the moment. But that's really about it.
Great. And Brian is still trying to get the 75 average viewers you need over on Twitch. So if people haven't checked it out, go over to Bricks O'Brien on Twitch. What streams do you have coming up? Any new games?
Nothing too crazy, super duper exciting at this moment, but I always got something cooking up in the works. And hopefully by this time next week, if anybody's interested in buying a boatload of Lego off of me, I'll have a list.
That's true, right? He'll be next week's stream will just be Brian plugging every set he has to sell.
Auction. We're gonna have an auction in the chat, just like professionally.
Network Lego edition.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks everyone who joined in the stream. It was good to have you all, and thanks everyone for chatting with us as always. We'll see everyone.